Okay, so welcome back to our game of Mystara. We're up to session number 132, or Phase 3, Season 2, Episode 18. It is currently game date 28th of the 5th month of the year 1011, and characters are level 12. At the table today we have Paul,
who is Cluel, the elven warlock, healer, diplomat, clan leader, wielder of a sword he can't show anybody, and general talky type.
Also at the table we have Kesley.
I play Kupo Rani Aokai. She goes by Rani, holder of many titles. Human, Makai, fighter, here for a good time, and apparently a long time. And yeah, that's it.
Okay. Last at the table today we have is Ariadna.
I need someone to operate Calcrix, or I have to upset the cat.
One operator coming up.
Let's see. One operator come out. Don't let me down. Do the jazz wings. This is Calcrix, the white dragon, mostly with the jazz wings. Nicely done. Better than I do it, actually. She should get XP for that.
Sure, gets all the XP.
Yeah, there's no XP. That's why I said.
Like whose line is it anyway? The points don't matter.
Aha!
What is it? It's the points don't matter and something else. I can't remember what the rest of the catchphrase is.
I think it's something else and then the points don't matter.
Everything's made up and the points
don't matter. That's it.
That's right.
Yeah. Well done. Although she's considered a white dragon, she does have a stripe, for lack of a better word, of black spikes down her middle, accompanied by twin stripes of blue on either side of that black stripe. She's got black horn tips,
Racing
and a black
lines.
tail. Except this could get her in trouble if people figured out that that connects her to different various elements, which is frowned upon by most people except for the Alphasians who are trying to kill everyone.
Yep.
So it could be good there. So in the meantime, her companion, tiny little leaf fiend Eep, spends a good part of the evening repainting her. So goodness knows what she looks like today. We'll let the GM figure that out.
Rainbow!
Yeah, rainbow works. She'd be rainbow dragon today.
Online
Just as long as no one confuses her with candy.
Ape licks you in the ear.
Eep probably spends a fair amount of time nibbling on Calcrix's tail.
Probably.
Online today we have Naomi.
Oh, hello. Wait, hang on. Yes, my mic is on.
We can hear you.
Yes, and I am Nadar, who may have some funky backstory happening. We don't know yet. We'll figure it out. Still holding Sun God in pocket, but not thinking about it.
Not Sun God. Fire Shard.
Fire Shard.
Yep.
From her point of view,
And the main reason I say that is because if you try not to think about the Sun God who wants it, you probably will. So if you think of it as not thinking about the Fire Shard, you got a better chance of living through this thing.
Yes.
Smart. Taking that on board.
Yes, because it ticks you. If he doesn't like you, he's probably going to drop a flaming meteorite on you.
Don't give it any ideas.
And even if he likes you, he still might do the same thing because, well, he likes fire.
You should see how he treats his followers.
Yes.
Yeah.
They get smaller meteorites. He's nice.
Well, we had one of them trying to speak to his god and found he was in the waiting room with all the other people trying to speak with his god.
They've
Well,
all
I
been in
ended up
that
with that
waiting
at one
room for
point.
months.
Actually, I ended up with that talking to a god that wasn't mine.
Yes.
And I was there to speak with him because he needed to speak with me.
Yeah.
And I still had to wait.
Yes, except you got to see him. He didn't.
That's true.
All they got was the waiting message. He's currently occupied and will get to you when he's available.
Yes.
And all the heralds were saying that to all the followers trying to speak to him.
Mm-hmm. Yes, 100% of them. Poor buggers.
And that's why he ended up switching gods. Okay, also online today we have Rhiannon.
I'm playing Seika, the Elven Rogue, who is currently actually in her form of Maika Zalaria.
Ooh.
Say that again, but a little bit slowly.
Maika, Maika, Zalaria, Zaleria.
I was so busy writing the first bit, Ma'ika, is that right?
Maika.
Ah, got it mixed up even though you were very clear. Okay,
That's
and
okay.
then the second half?
Zalaria, Zaleria.
All I'm going to do is get to the pictures to show
Zalaria
up,
I can deal
and
with.
it will actually all be online as well.
Yeah, I've decided because most of them are based on Japanese names.
Yep.
One of the things I'm going to add to my character stuff is pronunciation guide.
That will help.
Cool.
Because I'll still bugger it up, but I'll try harder.
Yes.
I will fix those up and send them to you at some point.
Yes.
Is anyone who's
That's-
dealt with languages, pronunciation guides are their favourite things.
And last player for today is Jeremy.
Yes, good evening all. I'm playing Blacknimmer, the Atruaghin tribesman who has risen from somewhat humble beginnings to have been selected by not only Atruaghin but also the Great One to represent them and lead the Atruaghin plans on their path to greatness once more. We've been part of that. We're blessed. You can say that now, without it with a complete straight face. I've been turned into effectively a overhead dragon.
And the amusing thing is, that can only happen via a god's curse. So blessed is a two-edged sword in that case.
Yes. You're blessed with a
If
curse.
it was initially stuck in half dragon form, it was definitely problematic.
Yes.
And for a non-Atruaghin, they would have been stuck in the half-dragon form.
Yes.
Okay, does anyone have notes on the last session and want to do a recap?
So essentially we have achieved our goal of doing the impossible
Again.
by throwing
You mean it's time for breakfast?
Yes.
It's basically just what we do for fun. We've made our way onto a very highly forbidden island and stolen the, what is it called? The Gem of Fire. It's super important, and I totally wrote it down. And it's kind of like, no one else is allowed to touch it except for one person. And even then, don't let people know we have it. And also don't
Yes.
think about it. And also just don't. We're not thinking about it or acknowledging its existence at all, but at the same time,
Yes.
being very careful about it. So yeah, we have the fire gem that we're keeping safe with us. It has the power to restart some of the gnomish sky ships.
Well, Sky City.
Yeah, the Sky City. So we're like, let's go do a good deed with it because that will also help to hide it. Because if others were to get a hold of it, they would try to use it and that would destroy the world as we know it.
You do know that when it activates, it's going to create a sun where it activates.
Exactly.
Yes.
So we don't want that. So that's why we very nicely have taken it away. But if anybody asks, we were never there. So with that, we were waiting for a skyship to come get us to take us to the Gnomish Sky City, and we had a fun time going backwards in Drowsel's cart, where we all saw visions of our past
And forwards.
and
cases.
past and forwards, all of lessons to be learned, along with happy memories. And so Drowsel was able to show us and remind us of important things that we need to know moving forward. And then he also gave us some nice memories and tokens and gear to go along with that. And as we came back from all of that, from going backwards, we are now boarding the skyship to head to the Gnomish City. And that's
In the middle of the operation capital.
A bit.
That's
Well,
where
yeah.
you're heading to, yes.
That's where we're heading, yes.
You're currently on one of the islands of
Irendi,
Irendi,
yeah.
as this skyship comes down. It's not of a design any of you are familiar with.
Okay.
It's not the Alphatian design.
Ah.
But Llewell does see similarities in the Nithian books he's had. Meaning this ship is at least 3,000 years old.
Yeah.
Is this the same skyship that's been ferrying Red Dream crews around for the last little while?
That is exactly
Yeah.
the same skyship.
Yeah, happy with that.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
there aren't many of them around at the moment, and
No, like I thought.
Yeah.
getting someone willing to take you into Alphatia who's not going to have their vessel automatically taken into the war effort is very hard to do.
Yes.
Indeed.
You need to take in one that they're not going to touch.
Technically,
shoot.
he's already part of the Alphatian hierarchy as a technicality. In a
That's a cute
reality,
So he was
Uh,
already part of the equation?
the captain of
Red Dream.
Oh,
the
the captain of the...
the captain
Oh, the
of
captain,
the
okay.
skyship.
Yeah.
Just that he's made an arrangement such that they don't want him to work with them anymore. And they're too afraid to take his ship away from them.
It's an interesting position to be in.
Well, basically, he has friends in high places,
Yeah.
especially the skycaps.
That would do it.
Once you
Very high places.
yeah, you don't really want to tick them off or the dragons.
No.
So having
So why don't I get more gifts?
You're already a dragon. That's a gift in itself.
Cowcrix will give you a look through narrowed eyelids going, she's not fallen for that.
I'm going to give you an innocent grin. A studiedly innocent grin.
Yeah, not. But yes.
Exactly. An open, friendly face that I've been practicing for ages.
okay, so it has a crane to lift up Drazel's cart and any mounts you wish to take with you or gear that you don't want to carry up a ladder.
Mm-hmm.
Because for some of you, like Father Pat, the ladder doesn't really work so well, so he's going up on the crane.
I don't know, I normally give him a lift.
Normally.
Yes. But if we're getting on a skyship, something large with flapping wings is probably a bad move.
No, I've done it
There's,
before.
no, there's stuff in the way. Oh, it can be done.
Yeah.
It's just painful.
I've got him on
Yeah.
skyships before though, because of the ladder problem.
And
Yeah.
this ship has been enhanced with gnome tech.
So
Yeah.
are we talking like
Okay.
a whole gnomish crew?
No, it's only got one gnome on board.
Really?
Who's overworked.
Just one gnome.
One
The
gnome.
important thing is this competent gnomish tech? Or the stuff that you see that makes people scream?
They tell people it's not competent gnomish tech.
They don't want to get it
Time to eat
around.
work.
Right. Yeah, so this does work, they just don't tell people that.
Well, they have combined 4 races technology into a single ship.
That's just frightening on a
Because you
time.
got Nithian runes.
It is
The
a,
old-
it is a Nithian skyship that has been enhanced with draconic magic, gnomish technology, and space cat technology.
You'll be all fine. Dimitri's adding some tweaks.
Okay, that is only sort of reassuring.
Just that most people don't know the various enhancements, and that's why the Alphaitian aren't allowed to use it in their war effort.
Because they'd learn from it, and that would be bad for everyone
Well,
else.
the
Yes.
gnomes have threatened to blow up their capital if they do.
Mm-hmm.
So it's Nithian with gnomish tech, draconian magic. What was the fourth thing?
The space cat.
Space cat.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right. The is it
Ricasta.
Rakasta.
Recasta?
Yes.
Yeah, you got to be careful not to mix it up with the devils,
Yeah.
Yes. Who are also cats, but entirely differently.
demon cats.
Yes.
Isn't that just cats?
Demons for cats. But yes.
If he wasn't sleeping, Therion would have jacked.
So it's cats either way, but one of them is more likely to screw you over
Yeah.
Yes.
on a repeated basis because they always like to keep coming back.
I just had to emulate my mom's view on cats. She hates cats, so I feel like that was a good option to share there.
My dad does as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so he tells you it is the captain of the ship is Cedric Harlock, who says just call him Captain Sid.
Hey, Captain Sid.
So,
Oh, wait, I'm invisible. Don't say anything.
so this is a Final Fantasy ship.
Well, they actually did create it with Harlock as the name of the captain. And it's useful to just keep reusing what they've done so I can
True.
not have to remember all the little things.
True.
You're introduced to his first mate and partner, Rin Harlock, a fighter bard. Who's also a bear folk.
Okay. So around my height and probably taller.
Around
Okay,
your
okay.
height and as stocky as a dwarf.
So like 4 times my weight.
Had a brawling competition with one of the former characters on the Wednesday night and knocked him out.
Reg.
Well, that's
No,
fair.
that was the barbarian.
Oh, right. Yep.
And the barbarian fell in love.
I can understand that.
Yes.
You're introduced to the gunner, Ratty Rightway, who uses the Alphaitian weapon systems. He's doesn't talk much, but has a bit of a stutter.
Mm-hmm.
Is it what?
Bit of a stutter.
Yeah.
Then you're also introduced to a goblin by the name of Ensign Darrow.
Mm-hmm.
She tries to avoid non-Alphaitians.
Okay.
Which is going to be amusing because she's going to have no problem being around me.
Well,
She's I'm presuming she sees me as an Alphaitian like many people do.
because in her culture she's accepted, but because she's Alphaitian.
Yeah. So she will accept others with multiple.
So she
Affinities.
doesn't like non-Alphatians?
Because non-Alphaitians mostly consider goblins to be vermin.
Ah.
Which is correct outside of Alphatia.
Goblins enslaved me, but I don't hold that against all goblins, just the ones that enslaved me.
Yes. And those you settle right.
The next one you're
If they're
introduced to is Aston Cartwright, the arcane engineer of the ship. He is a gnome who is very standoffish because everything about the ship's propulsion is his department and no one else is allowed to know about it. Which he states every time he's introduced.
I was going to say, is he standoffish towards gnome friends? Well-known gnome friends?
Less so, but he does have the whole everything. His side of the fence is gnomish secret business.
Yes.
Yeah, which
There's a need to
Calcrix
know.
probably knows already.
Yes, there's a need to know. If you're not me, you don't need to know. So I'm going to go make myself a cup of coffee and leave you to your devices.
Annoyingly for the gnomes from the early start of when Calcrix started dealing with them,
Yeah.
as soon as she got legend lore, she just started doing it on everything they had.
Oh dear.
So she now has like a library full of secret gnomish stuff.
Yeah.
But then she also has a village full of gnomes.
Yes.
So
Well, that's fair.
Okay. You are given access to a cabin with well-appointed bunks.
Excellent.
Access to a device that will heat your food for you. Just don't leave it in there too long, according to the gnome, because it increases its temperature by 5 degrees for each 10 seconds it's in there.
So if I shortcut this to
So
a
you
signed
can't
cabin
stop
and
it.
microwave, will I get in trouble?
Well, you open the door and it stops. Just pay attention to it because otherwise it will turn to ash if you just leave it in the shut door.
It'll just continue.
Right, so I
as
can't
long
hold
as
it at a particular temperature for an amount of time as you would do with an egg.
It's not enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it-
I know that's what I was clarifying.
It's a gnomish heating device. It uses pours radiant energy into the thing.
That's why I wrote
Right.
microwave.
Okay. Does it have a clock on it, or do we have to time it by counting or singing or something?
He's just singing because he would like to hear people sing.
Okay. At least I'm reasonably good at it.
Calcrix and Eat immediately start chirping.
Marika grabs a bottle of something from one of her bags and then goes back topside.
Okay, by the
Yeah.
time you get topside, you notice that the ground below is many hundreds of feet down. You hadn't really felt the ship rise while you were in the cabin.
Yeah, this thing moves at a great rate of knots. I'm coming up topside as well because I don't see the point of staying down there.
And there's
Same.
no wind coming over the top of the ship.
Cool.
Very nice.
She's gonna jump up to some of the rigging and do some trapeze stuff to get as high as she can. And just
Okay,
sit there
there
drinking for a
is
bit.
no rigging.
There's no mast, there's nothing.
No mast at all. It is. It has wings sticking out the sides of it, and it has multiple propulsion units off the back.
So is there anything higher than the deck?
It is
It's a
the captain's landing. Is the raised part of the ship.
Is that the prow? Like,
Captain's
It's
is
not
at the
far
rear.
from the prow.
Has
He
it got
has
like,
got it at the
you know,
front.
how Viking ships have like, or most ships have like the bit that sticks out the front?
You've got
There is a bit that sticks out the front that you can go on, but it is the bridge deck where the captain hangs out the most.
So you might
Looking
want to
for somewhere
ask permission in sort of respect for the captain.
Yeah, she's looking for somewhere quiet and isolated.
Basically, the rear of it is
Probably
the most quiet part, at least until they activate propulsion.
At which point, it blanks all the noise. Great stuff.
I think I remember correctly that Calcrix has been on the ship in front of Hansbury.
She has, yes.
So
Yeah.
if when she gets on ship, she'll just say hi to everybody.
And Calcrix is presented with multiple snacks
Oh well,
as a welcome gift.
they remember Calcrix then.
Yes.
She left lots of coffee and I think cookies, a little bit. And I believe there was bubbles blown off the side of the ship at some point.
Yeah, but Ika's just looking for somewhere for a bit of solitude and thinking after the flash forward she got.
Yeah, that's fair. We've all got sort of smacked around with it.
Okay, and you start to feel the ship angle for the first time as it starts to activate its forward momentum. It has a bit of a hum to it from the arcane engine and from the various magics put into it, until you feel the kick of the technology make it leap forward faster than you've travelled, except for Calcrix before. Seems that they have poured more into its speed, as they've had warnings that they don't want to be travelling with you and your cargo for very long.
Yeah.
Basically, if something could catch you on this thing, they would.
Without disturbing the crew, Calcrix will do her usual thing. Follow people around, ask questions when she's allowed to or when it looks like she can, and hand out cookies and coffee.
Okay, so looks like Luell is the big person you'll be able to chat to the most, as everyone else is finding either resting or sitting behind.
I meant crew, but that's okay.
Most of the crew are working, trying
Yes.
to keep everything running.
If they're working, she'll just quietly observe them at their jobs and then just draw pictures.
That's fair.
Yeah. Naika, I'm so used to saying Senka. Naika, she's isolated, alone, and reflective, but she also has her habitual watching and taking everything in and looking at stuff and piecing things together. That's just her standard existence.
By the look of things, this ship has a gravity to it. Unlike most of the sky ships, it actually keeps you on the ship. Even if it is on an angle, you still feel as if it's flat is down.
It has a gravity plane that's linked to the ship. Yeah.
Which is a technology most ships don't have.
No.
Its propulsion is pushing you faster than any of its single modes of propulsion can do.
Right.
And the fact that you're actually feeling some of the movement means that you are exceeding the capabilities of its gravity.
So they're pushing it hard.
Look, I don't want to be on their ship long. It's going to endanger them.
Yeah, well, yes, they're going to get us where we're going as fast as possible and then bog off, which is entirely valid.
The same reason I was on this sky ship before was because haste was needed.
And Luell has a suspicion that they probably have incorporated some of the technology the Shadow Elves use as well.
I'm not going to ask. I'm not even going to look. But I wouldn't be at all
But
surprised.
the hum you hear is identical to that of the Shadow Elf deck.
I'm not going to mention it.
But not many people use crystals as part of their energy source.
No. Yeah. I still don't know a huge amount about the Shadow Elf tech, but we'll get there.
You know it's scary. And from the elven upbringing you've had, it's not something the surface elves allow.
No. It's also, as far as I know, dangerous to use over any length of time. There is a counter to it, but I don't know what it is.
Okay.
Lani being, like, even though it's an airship and a sea ship, probably understands a little bit of what's going on.
She's finding it very disconcerting because no rigging. It has absolutely no feel of movement or
I was going to
sway.
say, this is, in a way, completely alien to how Lonnie knows
Yeah.
a ship to move, and not at all what she expected a sky ship to move like, because it's her
Yes.
first time in a sky ship.
It's very similar to how the dwarven stone ship moved,
Yeah,
which also freaked Lani out.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like this shouldn't.
Just
Work.
scaring us.
And that they aren't using the sky or the current for any form of its movement.
Hmm.
Which means it will work inside and outside the atmosphere.
Yeah.
I still want to go outside the. Actually, I think we did go outside the atmosphere on
Yeah.
Fridays.
And this thing will.
And the
Well,
Alpha-18
in the wind,
ships
they
in
go to the
general.
moon and back.
Yeah, it did go to the moon and back.
Cool.
Did you have a baby?
What?
Go to the moon and back to be a baby or something like that, isn't the lyric?
I have no.
I have no idea.
Roxette or something like that. There you go. Somebody here has taste and culture.
If you be my baby.
There you go. Sorry, I did. Look,
Well, there was baby involved.
the 80s and the 90s was like 30 years ago for me, so yeah.
It
Well,
was
it
30 years
was.
ago. So.
Well, you've got an excuse. You were
Okay,
born.
so in your explorations, you do find they have silver-tipped harpoons for their ballistas.
That's cool.
They have a magic rail gun that can fire them,
Cool.
Okay.
and they say they have a range of close to 2 miles.
What kind
That's-
of
In atmosphere, they say.
what kind of
Hmm.
opponents or
That's-
attackers do they face that require silver-tipped
Bloody nasty
harpoons?
ones.
It's rated for planar and void travel, which means it may face creatures of unusual size. And most things don't like enhanced silver hitting them.
Considering Calrix's new obsession with cosmic dragons, she will ask, what's it like to travel between, like, planar travel and void travel? What's the experience like?
Rather quiet, he says, because most of the time he's only traveling short distances from the planet to ferry messages out to the Void Fleet, but the Void Fleet has been destroyed, so he hasn't done that for a few years.
What's the Void
Right.
Fleet's job? Like, I guess they protected
Protecting
the
the world.
They work with the Space Cats to stop interplanetary visitors from taking advantage of the world.
I have to have more conversations with the Space Cats.
Because unfortunately, people from other planets don't come in peace most of the time.
Yeah.
And how long has the Void Fleet been destroyed for? A couple of years.
A couple of years now. Someone nuked the city.
Oh.
Is there any...
Who would do that?
Sorry?
I reckon who'd do that?
Maybe the Master?
Oh no, it was actually Wednesday and Friday's group.
Oh, Wednesday and
Maybe
Friday's
that would
group
be
destroyed
supporting
the Void
devastation or-
Fleet?
Yeah.
Dimitri.
Was I part of the Friday group when they destroyed the Void Fleet?
I think was it Friday or was it Tuesday? Because what they put a devastation orb through to
Oh,
the.
it was the
to
devastation.
Wednesday.
Then it was
that-
Tuesday
yeah.
and Wednesday, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Tuesday and Wednesday work together to make it happen.
Yeah.
And
You
it was-
gotta remember, we were dealing with that week's apocalypse.
Right.
And so they stopped two
Future
apocalypses at the
apocalypse,
same
second one.
time. And
Yeah.
if the Void Fleet hadn't have been destroyed during, all of your nations would have been carpet bombed from air using technology like this ship.
Ow.
So if they can hit you from a mile to 2 miles away,
Yeah.
And so remember, that's half the reason that we're delivering the Firestone to the gnomish city is to allow it to depart Alphasia and
Yes.
thereby deprive Alphasia of the gnomish architects and architects who
Yeah.
rebuilt the flying armada.
Yeah, no, that's okay. I just was trying to connect the dots. So the dot would be that it was the orb of destruction that destroyed the Void City where the
Yeah,
Void
devastation
Fleet
orb, that's right.
was.
It destroyed the capital of Alphatia,
Oh, the capital of Alphatia.
and it's called Sunsval. And in the process hit their Sky Fleet, their Void Fleet, and their Planar Fleet. So they had 3 fleets that they had brought
Why are
in,
these words so long?
and they haven't quite recovered from that, and they don't have anything left to patrol the regions that they were using them for.
So the Void Fleet was good, but Alphatia, of course, want to kill everyone.
Well, they were going to war, so they brought every resource they had ready
Yeah.
to do a preemptive strike,
Yeah, fair enough.
which never quite got off the ground.
I'm happy with that explanation. I'm glad that I've made the connection.
Okay, so
I'm not going to mention anything about throwing that orb of destruction through there. I feel like this is not the right time.
before the end of the first hour's travel, you do hear the sound of gnomish rockets engaging. At least you think they're gnomish rockets.
Oh.
Yes. As it starts to shake while traveling. The first time you feel the movement, which is not the happy bouncing of a ship over the waves. It's more like someone grabbing you and shaking you by the shoulders.
Yeah, it's a ship going, I'm going faster than I'm meant to, and we're going to keep at it.
And you do see a wake behind you of a golden line just stretching out as far as you can see.
Wow.
They're trying to do this off as soon as possible.
And down below you can actually see the world move. It's normally not quite that fast,
Yeah.
but it's like someone's just scrolling the land underneath you.
It's ridiculously quick. The only time we normally go this fast is while falling, and we're usually rather distracted at the time.
And you
Oh my
get
god, a false lemon speed for some reason.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
and you're sort of estimating he's probably doing about 100 or more mile an hour.
Right, so not up to Plaid. That would be in orbit only.
But you've not heard of many things able to
Go this fast.
go this fast.
A diving hawk won't go this quick.
You're,
No.
It'll go about this quick.
So you're probably thinking that's more of an estimate because that you're not even sure how high up you are.
Yeah.
And you sort of guessing you're probably passing the sound barrier.
Yeah.
Because basically you stop hearing the outside world not long after it starts picking up speed.
Well, yeah, I expect there'll be some protection.
And when you see clouds, they sort of blur past you.
Yeah. Not very surprised.
Well, the captain's estimating his 2 weeks might have been a overestimation.
So it's going to be like a couple of days.
He's thinking about a week. He's never actually engaged all his proportions at the same time. It's not considered safe.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
You might want to double check whether use of recruiting staff while on the ship while moving will have any impact.
He
And if
doesn't.
not,
He doesn't recommend activating any artifacts. They may interfere with the various protective devices on the ship.
Yeah, I'm not going to mess with that.
okay, we're not going to cut the fact that it may be worth trying to contact Gregory and occasionally running early because we don't necessarily want to hang around Alphatia for a week carrying the funds and until they're ready for it. So,
There are other ways to contact people, like
indeed, and that's okay. Like,
Yes.
absolutely, I've been looking at other options to definitely let them know we're coming early.
And when you spoke to Redrian last, he was already there.
right.
Oh,
So
Yeah,
yeah,
they're
like,
going towards
that's
him. Yeah. What were you saying?
the right thing at the start initially.
Maika would have been trying to use her sending ritual. Would that work?
You find your
Not
send-
necessarily the Redrian, but
You're finding your sending ritual is being disrupted. Each
Oh.
time you gather the magic to cast it, something sucks the magic out of your control.
Okay.
So it's slurping magic to power one of the propulsive devices. Okay.
You're suspecting it's probably also pulling on any magical items you're currently using.
Right.
return to my drinking.
Which would
That's
make
fair.
it a great defensive ability for spells cast against it.
Yeah.
It would.
Which is probably why the Alphatians haven't taken it as well, because if they can't use magic to take it,
What's the point?
well, they
Yeah.
can't take it. They can only generally
That's right.
take
Make
things
them
with
hard to take.
overwhelming magic.
Yeah. Yeah. So this guy runs away, and suddenly you can't stop him. So
You just make him faster.
yeah. Which
Nifty
is a
trick.
really good reason not to activate an artifact, because it goes slurp, and then part of the engine falls off.
Yeah.
It is the fact that the party is somewhat well equipped with magical items and the odd artifact or two, possibly part of the reason why the ship is moving a bit faster than expected.
Quite possibly.
And that you have
Right.
a dragon on board, and dragons just
Exude magic.
yeah. If you do it to detect magic around a dragon, it will detect a dragon.
Well, they need magic to fly, if nothing else.
But
yeah.
then it will also detect Fae and outsiders.
Would it detect
That's
anything on
interesting.
me? Out of curiosity?
It will detect you based on being the seasonal.
You are
These
closer to
things.
the Fae than most.
You-
I have a feat, which means I probably detect that way as well.
So I'd probably read similar to Faye.
Yep.
You detect as a type of Fae, yeah.
Just as the
Sweet.
well also detects as a Fae.
Yep. Yes, I have
Just hadn't
developed.
thought about that before.
Yes, I have developed towards my Eladrin relatives. So
Okay, over
Interesting thing
the
to remember.
first day afloat, you've basically traversed most of what would take you weeks to a month to have travelled by land.
yeah,
And you see it in the second and third day. It crosses the Isle of Dawn. You're not sure what it crossed overnight because it didn't stop.
yeah.
And by the time you hit day number 4, you realise that you're going to be crossing into Alphatia overnight.
Okay.
And the golden streak behind you has lit up the night. It is basically like a golden cord in the sky.
Very sweet.
So,
Very easy to
not
follow.
only are we arriving in our spaceship early, but we're doing it really subtly.
I admire your adjustment of the word subtle to mean we are a searchlight.
Well, the Haldanic warbirds, when they fly, scream through the air based on they are literally using magic to shove a brick through space.
Yeah. Yes, this is being far more subtle about it, but it's doing it 5 different ways.
Anyone paying attention probably noticed that Maika return to sort of more of a bubbly, friendly sort of person after the first day.
Calcrix is always paying attention,
Mm-hmm.
and
Why I said it.
you do get cookies, particularly during, like, when you're in your low sort of area. Like, the cookie offering rate increases by 1.5.
Okay.
I mean, it's fairly obvious why she was drinking and mulling.
Oh yeah.
From
And hearing well clear of Nadar.
Calcrix also well remembers the throne that Drachnima had. so she's well aware of what all of those various. Oh yay! My hearing aid works despite going through the washing machine again.
Oh, good.
That's a good sign. I didn't think it was going to work after it had been.
It took 3 battery tries, but
Yeah.
on the 3rd battery it worked. I could
Mhm.
You do get from Captain Harlock. He thinks that the ship managed to exceed about 500 miles an hour at its top velocity.
Ooh,
That's cool.
that's just a flat out ridiculous number.
He doesn't
That's
think
not
it's
that place
sustainable because he's been backing off since then because he's sure he's actually damaged some of the systems on the vessel.
Yeah.
Do as you feel the need.
But he does believe the combination of items and guests has given his ship an extra boost.
We were thinking about that. I'm not surprised. We can deactivate some of them.
And he believes the artifact that you're wanting to get rid of soon has caused most of its extra speed.
Interesting.
It is compatible with his ship.
Ah.
He doesn't want it left on his ship.
Yeah.
That's perfectly fair. Perfectly fair.
He believes without it, he could probably have taken 2 to 3 times the time to get there.
Yes. You've done an amazing job, and we apologise for you having to repair bits of your ship.
Does anyone want a hot drink while I'm doing hot drinks?
Sure.
Yeah. Yep. Please.
Okay. He's going to be sitting down in the capital of Alphatia come sunrise.
Mm-hmm.
But he's looking at going straight to the Gnomish city and landing there.
Yeah.
That would be preferable.
Mainly because he's sure the Alphatians are a little curious as to what he's done to his vessel.
Yeah.
Previously, he hasn't come in this fast.
Nobody has. I think the only thing has ever. I think the only thing that's ever come in this fast has been falling from orbit.
Well, he's,
Possibly the gnomish ship when it fell.
Yeah.
Yes.
well, he has engaged his full defensive abilities just to not wipe everyone off the deck.
Yeah, that'd be favourite.
But it's what he uses to keep the atmosphere in the void.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
normally
Which you sort
it
of
drains the engines when he does that.
Yeah.
But he had excess energy to go around,
So you
so
went, cool. Take
Yeah,
advantage.
this time you've actually deliberately created the energies to try and get the ship below
Yeah.
its relative speed.
and he's been firing the rear weaponry non-stop just to push energy out of the ship.
Yeah.
So, you know how
Oh.
dogs stick their heads out of windows when cars are going? Calcrix are there. Like, just
They
through this
want
whole
to do
process. Yeah.
You're faking being in an airstream.
And
Yeah.
if Drazzle's there, he's drawing a picture because he wants to remember this because it will make him happy on his darkest days.
Mm.
He does have a very nice picture done.
Yeah.
Excellent.
If there's anything that we can contribute towards maintenance because they expended an extra lot of parts. I mean,
Well,
Calrex has
his big thing is getting the item as far from his ship as possible.
yeah, but
So
she
no, the thing is,
appreciates it's a
we've been
cost.
here. We've been here with a lot of magic items, which has enabled him to get us there quickly, so we can get off his ship as soon as possible.
Yeah,
So we've helped him get rid of us.
this is still Calrex. She'll still make
Oh
the
yeah,
offer.
no, it's fair enough.
Well,
I'm not gonna
that's
stop you.
all he requires as payment because
Yeah.
he's already been paid for the travel.
Yeah.
And
As I
quite
said,
well,
she'll
he
still
says.
offer. She knows Redran's probably paid him. Redran's got the money. She's kind of hoping he'll say no because ultimately, at her core, she's a dragon and she doesn't really want to part with anything. But
Right.
she still knows it's polite to offer.
Well, he's got the Thothians ready and waiting for him to come in for repairs, as he doesn't trust anyone else with maintenance on his ship.
So who is that?
They're the descendants of the Nithians who still practice the same magic that Nithians were almost destroyed the world using.
What are they called?
Look at on the other door.
Thothians.
Yeah.
Thothians.
Followers of Thoth.
Okay.
Um,
And
Yes.
is that a god of Thor?
It is an Egyptian style god.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah. I'm like, that name is familiar.
So they have a throne room where they constantly update the paintings and enhance the magic, which they've been doing for quite a few thousand years.
And where does one find Thothians if one wants to
The
ask
Isle
them
of
endless
Dawn.
questions?
The
Isle
Isle
of
of
Thor?
Dawn.
Dawn. The Isle of...
The Isle of Dawn, which is in between Alphatia and the known world where you live.
Yeah. I've been there.
Look at
at
the
least
Dimitri.
once,
He's
haven't
got all the
I?
blocks for you.
So I have a picture up here. It is this little tiny
Yep.
strip of islands
And where's
here.
the Isle of Dread in?
Isle of Dread is probably about right where the point is.
So they're kind of in the region.
They both share the Sea of Dread
Don't
as
take this the
the
wrong
same
way,
order.
Jeremy, but Calrex doesn't trust any knowledge passed through Dimitri because it's passed through Dimitri and therefore being Dimitriized.
Yeah.
Be improved, enhanced, and evolved.
As far as Dimitri's concerned, yes. As far as Calrex is concerned, from what she's heard from other sources, perhaps maybe not necessarily in a factual manner.
Yeah.
Entirely.
Well, that's it. Dimitri's been there, he's talked to him, he's got everything he needs to know.
No. I was just
But
Calrex
the
would
other
like to go
question
there in person.
before we left and we told Adrian we were coming when the sun's coming over to start the Gnomic city. Did they give an indication as to how long it would actually take for the city to take off once they had the cone?
Not very long.
So, probably suggestion to Sid then is that potentially he may wish to remain within the Gnomic Citadel until it leaves Alphatia before heading to Crosslands to Croydhair, simply because whilst the Alphatians can't touch you on the way in,
Yeah.
the ship may not be quite so
Invulnerable.
inaccessible on the way out.
Yeah.
He can either go for speed or protection. If he's going for speed, he can outrun any of the Alphatian ships. But if he was doing that and they were to use any of their long-range magic, they would still be able to affect him.
And
So
I was
he
a bit
appreciates
concerned about the idea of if the ship's taken any even minor damage,
Yeah.
you may not find out until you actually the wrong moment.
Yeah, the ship does have some structural damage, and he may need to repair it before taking it out.
Yeah.
But it is an old ship, and it has some ability to recover over time.
Yeah. I can help with that if you got the bits.
That's very interesting.
Oh, it's not about using magic to repair. It actually can
Oh, I know that.
do it itself.
I know, but if you want something rebuilt or something, I can help with that.
That's what the Thothians do best, he says.
Oh, that's fair enough.
Their magic is about enhancing what's already there
Interesting.
over generations.
Or good chunks of a lifetime for me.
Uh, some of their stuff has been generations for elves. Their throne room is literal elven generation.
Well, yeah, for a throne room, I could sort of see that. And interesting ideas anyway.
It's how their parent nation was able to challenge the gods.
Yes. And then ended up with issues.
That's why their title of Pharaoh is has quite a lot of power to it.
Yeah, well, if you're sitting in a building-sized artifact,
enhanced by faith, followers, and magic.
that's a heck of a combination.
It is.
Pretty scary.
That's why it doesn't work anywhere outside of their nation.
I would expect the Immortals to object if they did.
And from what he's heard, the Hollow World nation has lost much of that skill.
They have been kept stagnant. Yeah.
Well, they don't have the abilities they had at the height of their empire.
No.
But Thothir does.
Yeah. I can see why they're keeping that quiet too.
And they're unable to use it outside of their nation.
Yeah.
Not that they can't, they promised not to.
Yes. On the other hand, they didn't promise not to expand the size of the nation, did they?
No, they did.
Well, they did.
They cannot exceed their borders as dictated.
Yeah, some deals are a bit like that.
Yeah. But as such, Alphadia did conquer them.
Right, agreed not to throw any more of their soldiers into the meat grinder, right?
Oh, it took the Council of Wizards to unite to actually get that conquering to happen.
I didn't think that was actually possible.
One of the few times in history they united. It was either that or have Thothir dismantle the Empire.
Well, yeah, there was that.
So history does record that there was a disagreement between the Council of Wizards and Thothir agreed to join the Empire. Under the grounds it was left alone.
That must really rankle the Alphatians.
Yes, no Alphatian wizard is allowed to study there by law.
Which means I'd have to... Would I have to rejig my elemental affinities to actually go there?
No, you just can't be a member of the Alphatian aristocracy.
Oh, well, fair enough then.
Because all the aristocracy wizards aren't allowed to study there.
Yeah.
And
Right.
that also
So they
includes
actually go on nationality, not just on the assumption of you've got multiple elemental affinities, therefore you're an Alphatian.
You'd have to owe allegiance to Alphatia.
Yeah.
And if you don't owe allegiance to Alphatia, they're unlikely to teach you anyway. You just got to make a case.
Yeah.
Technically, he made a case,
Mm-hmm.
and he's made his agreement with them.
Yeah.
He does give you an hour's warning to be ready for coming in at the Nomi City.
Yep.
He believes he can slow the ship down, so it should be a soft landing, but he might get a little noisy.
All right, let's say get into our cabins and stand against the front wall of the cabin with your mattress there.
Yeah.
It says for Calcrix and E, who also just keep acting like pair of dogs in a car.
Well, yeah, because you do.
Oh, you're seeing all the pretty lights below as it's crossing a nation at night.
Yeah.
You get a lot of
You even see a couple of skyships in the air because they had managed to build a few in the last few years. But you only get them as a glance as they go flying past.
Boom.
Maybe
they're
will
going-
be joining Calvert's and Eve
Yep. And
and laughing along with them.
yes, and the crews on those ships are inventing new swear words.
You're seeing up ahead the biggest city in the world.
Yep.
It leaves every other city behind. You could pretty much fit every capital of the world inside the borders of this city.
Right.
It actually covers multiple 8-mile hexes.
Yeah, that's honking huge. Considering your normal medieval city is like a mile across.
This is the center of their civilization.
Yes.
They have more nations and people associated here than any other nation.
Yeah.
And it is the oldest still standing city that is not hidden.
Okay.
Which implies there's
my-
one that's bigger that's hidden. But yeah. Carry on.
The Hoshi Monogatari,
Mm-hmm.
Gati, whatever, I will get that pronunciation right at some point. They would have visited the Alpha capital, wouldn't they?
They would have, except never from the air.
Yeah.
Uh,
I'm just checking I'm not completely. Like, I don't think there'd be many places we wouldn't have visited.
From this angle, it is awe-inspiring. It has so much light. It almost looks like it's daytime with the amount of light pouring out of the city. It's one of the cities of the world that never sleeps.
She's enjoying the view and awestruck, but just wanted to make sure I was somewhere we've been before.
And you also remember it being a horrifying place to be in because it's a city for spellcasters by spellcasters. If you can't cast magic, you are considered little more than a serf.
Yep.
You are treated well, but you don't have any rights.
Yeah, we got used to that in Glantry.
Yeah.
Except-
Spellcasters at the Cirque, but
Except for this one, they honor all spellcasters, not just wizards.
Okay.
Whereas Galantry specifically
Well,
is
they
a
only
country
like
for wizards.
Yeah.
yeah, Satoshi's a spellcaster, and there's a couple of other spellcasters in the Cirque, so it would have been more like we were the servants of the others.
There we go. Yes.
And if you know Magic the Gathering, think of this as a elaborate Ravnica, all the different types of the setting of Magic pretty much apply here because they are planeswalkers.
Yeah.
The origins of Alphatia is that they came from another plane and they brought their entire culture with them.
Okay.
So their culture is way older than their city. They came with their technology and magic.
Okay.
And their magic destroyed their plane of existence. So if they ever pull out their ancient weapons of war, if they still have them, things can go badly. So from Seeker's perspective, she has learnt that the aggressors in their war were the Galantrian founders.
In the war on their plane that got destroyed.
Yep. They're the ones who employed the magic that destroyed their plane of existence.
Okay.
So they were the fire mages, the fire genasi,
Okay.
led by their king known as Alphax, who gained immortality out of destroying his own plane.
Wow.
I don't know if that's a punishment or not.
And he is the enemy of the nation of Alphatia. Because he hates air magic.
It was important that someone remembered the deed in eternity.
And amusingly, the patron of Alphatia, known as Alphatia, is a descendant of the fire people, so she was a fire genasi, but didn't believe in the aggression of the people.
Okay.
And she's the person who is the goddess of peace, who has been instigating for war, which is very much not in her nature or the nature of her followers.
What was her name again?
Alphatia.
Alphatia.
Her nation was named after her because she founded. She was the one who brought them to this place and founded the city.
Mm.
And in founding the city here, she gained her immortality. So it's amazing what you can do to become a god.
Mm.
Okay, it only takes a short time from when you see the city to reach it, but you do hear the straining of the ship as it's slowing itself down. The golden line behind you has gone out, but it has its gnomish engines are reversed, trying to come into a softer landing.
Okay.
Seems it wasn't really designed for this sort of slowing. So they may have to do some redesigning.
Perhaps.
Hey, at least they learned something.
And as it's slowing down, you start to hear sound coming back in again as you think a lot of its protective wards are failing.
Hmm.
The captain recommends everyone get below deck, so if the wards do fail, you don't get lost.
Yeah, at that point, Mahika will go downstairs.
Does Calcrix take heed of the captain?
She kind of doesn't want to, but she also respects the captain. She gives the captain a plaintive look about dragons accepted.
So dragons are accepted, just that he wouldn't want you to get damage.
That's fair.
It's if you wish to stay up on deck and take the risk, he won't stop you, but he recommends safety over.
So he recommends not doing that.
She's legitimately torn. Sorry, I'm going to go get my D20. Character flaw.
I know.
It's a legit character flaw, is put in there.
Fair.
Also helps your personality.
And it helps if I volunteer to roll instead of him volunteering me, because I get in so much trouble. Alright, so what's the roll when I do that flaw?
Normally you want to get over 10 on your...
So I've got 12. Do I add anything to it?
I've worked out the difficulties, and as long as you get over 10, all your bonuses will get you that.
Okay. So that means that I resist and go below deck,
Yep.
as advised, and miss out on this awesome experience.
Or you don't take damage.
Or I don't take damage. I'm going for option 2.
Yeah.
Put it out there.
You never said that. You never said don't take damage. You said don't get lost. People below decks are probably going to take damage. It's going to be...
Going below deck means you don't take
high.
damage. Okay, yeah, no. Jeez. You had to point out what he actually meant versus what my ADHD brain went and ran with. It's like grabbing a football and just going for the goals, and you end up in the wrong goals.
It was the sort of thing that I was looking at the idea of options for putting up a blood of invulnerability around people as effectively seatbelt.
That's a
Then
question.
realised, oh no, the skulls get sucked into the engine anyway.
Yeah, sphere of resilience wouldn't work, would it?
It would in normal circumstances, yes.
Carrick's hit points of what? 156?
About that.
Yeah. No,
Are we
it's
talking more than 156 more damage?
lots.
You have no idea.
I have no
Yeah.
idea.
A sphere of resilience at the moment would just make this go faster and not work.
I don't want to disrespect the captain, but at the same time, this seems like a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
If we have to make a roll, I'm making an acrobatics check.
I'm going below deck.
Would
I'm not going to
Nadar
spend
think
hours doing this. I'm going to say no disrespect to the captain, but I'm never going to. I don't think I'm ever going to go into Alphasia again, let alone on a Nithian ship that's loaded up with all this magic stuff. I don't know that I'll ever get to experience this again. If this is how I die, I'm okay with that.
What's the speed we're going?
Lots.
You're not sure. The captain has lost the ability to calculate based on it doesn't make sense to him.
Look, if you're
I
going to
was just
die,
trying to figure out
She'd rather
if
be
standing
this
on the
way
deck
than
and
on
face
the
stepping at the last second would work.
No.
But no.
Well, I'm just wondering, would Nadar think that flying off the ship, trying to get as far away as possible, would help in any way in not killing everyone that,
No.
he's come to enjoy the company of?
Maybe, but then suddenly you're this really juicy target for everyone hunting for the gem.
yeah.
Good point.
And there's also the fact that the problem with that theory is suddenly you get away from the effective inertial dampeners of the ship, even if they're not working as well as they need to be.
Yeah.
The change in speed would be bad.
A bit killer.
Okay, so who's staying on deck?
No.
Calbricks, Andy.
Going below deck.
Yeah.
I don't
I am
trust
below
how
deck.
this thing moves. And the captain said, "Get below deck." I'm gonna trust what the captain says because I know that a captain knows the ship best.
Jack Nimmer understands engineering. He's below deck.
Okay, so Calcrick sees the captain activate a domal force around him.
A what force?
Domal force.
Okay.
He's got his
an
spirit
option
visions up.
What was that?
Is that an option I have?
You don't have one on the ship where you are.
Okay, alright.
This is part of what the ship has.
That's fine.
Is a dome of force a technological thing, not magical?
Hard to tell.
This one is probably both.
Look, if I have to create a new character tonight,
But to be fair, Lonnie would encourage, knowing that Calcrix is a dragon and cannot be moved in any way whatsoever. Lonnie would do her best to emphasize to Calcrix, the captain knows best. I'm going below deck. I believe it's a smart decision.
Calcrix looks at you earnestly in the eyes and goes, I know what the smart decision is.
And
I'm
he's
making
not
this
doing it.
decision.
Hee okay.
Does Lani also point out there are windows in the cabin?
Yeah, I'll point out there's windows where you can still see things.
I don't know. I wish there was a seat in the captain's chair because I just feel like windows won't be quite the same.
Sit in his lap.
Yeah, have a
So
big dragon
strongly
sitting
that I
there.
need to
Oh,
be
human
on
form.
decks that they're
Well,
pretty-
does Calcrick reduce her size to as small as possible?
Would this help?
Yes,
Indeed she does.
because
I was getting the window.
because then the captain would happily have you beside him, just that at your normal size you wouldn't
Calcrix
fit.
will happily make herself tiny or small, whichever suits him the most.
Well, at tiny, you're the same size as Eve.
That's fine. She often makes herself tiny so that Eep and her can play chasies without hurting each other. It's not so good when Eep makes herself huge to play chasies with Calcrix.
Okay, so once you're in with the captain and the dome clicks in place, it does look to be made out of a transparent material.
Transparent aluminum.
And
Yes, obviously.
he does activate the gnomish engines by telling the gnome to put everything into it.
Give it all you got, buddy.
Give it all I got.
As you then find the dome completely surrounded by flame, as the entire ship is engulfed in flame from the engines.
So, properly spectacular.
As it looks like now it looks like a fireball coming into the city.
So,
I gotta tell
they
you,
start shooting
why am I
back.
suddenly having had the thought of in the Firefly, the yes, the fine rough landing?
I'm a leaf on the wind.
Just as long as nobody
You
gets
know
lost.
how that ends, though.
One real
Your-
Oreo, one diet one.
Okay, thank you.
If you want me to take away the temptation of the real Oreo, I can.
Please.
Well, sometimes you say yes.
Very seldom, but yeah.
Would you like a second diabetic?
Please.
And Calcrix can see. Looks like the Alphatians are trying to put up wards to stop this fireball from hitting their city.
On the plus side, I reckon Red Green got the message. We're here.
Alright, lost a little bit
Thank
of itself.
That's right.
And you get to see a spectacular display of various types of magic out the front of the ship. And a spectacular failure of every type of magic out front of the ship. As this ball of fire just barrels straight through.
You know, we're here to start the known pit of hell, not destroy it.
Yeah, well,
Why not both?
that's,
They can build it better.
we can help with that.
And you notice that it seems to be getting slower and slower as it approaches.
Right. Which is generally a good thing, really.
Yes. Unfortunately, the ground is approaching way too quickly for it to slow down enough.
Yeah.
As you see the Nomi city sitting inside one district of Alphatia.
Yeah.
You feel the ship lurch around, facing away from it, as the captain puts all power into the forward momentum. Seems that slowing it down was not enough.
I'd do something to help, but I have absolutely nothing.
Can Calcrix do anything to help?
Provide verbal support, I'm sure.
She does have things that, like, you know, she can inspire people and stuff.
Sing.
Not quite like bardic inspiration, but what is the spell that she can do?
As you see the
Magic won't work, will it?
No.
you see the engines behind starting to glow with the power they're putting out.
Calcrix asks if she leaves the captain's safety, goes outside of the ship, turns herself to huge, and works as a pair of sails, would it work?
He does not think so. He believes that the Alphatians magic would harm you.
Not too worried about that, more worried about all the lives on the ship. And in the city.
He says we should stop in time.
Okay, that's fine. She's gonna enjoy the view.
Was that we should stop in time?
There was a we should stop in
Sure.
time, yes.
Okay.
As being it was a 50-50 chance, unfortunately, Martin rolled below 10.
Are you looking at dice on the screen that I can't see right now?
It is up with a 5.
Oh, right.
That's right.
If there's a roll involved that involves the lives and deaths of our group, could I do it? No, I'm joking.
No, I think it did.
I was absolutely joking.
Okay, each of you gets to make a acrobatics or athletics roll.
Acrobatics.
I was going to say, do we get to choose?
Yes, I know how to spell them.
27.
I think I'm screwed either way.
I'm proficient in athletics. I'm going for athletics.
I'm going to go for acrobatics because that's dex based.
And does this have a modifier attached to it at all?
You can either add your strength or dexterity.
I'm going to...
Okay, either way, it's a 13.
It's 25.
Natural 20.
Plus
Back now,
dex.
ready.
Natural
I'm
20.
on
Natural
29.
I am just so beautifully prepared for this. I got to 23.
I am more beautifully prepared at 25.
Yes.
I'm
I've
so
always
pleased
got
with
a
that
30.
roll.
Yeah, this is the thing, is that I got as high as I can possibly get, and there's like 3 people get better than me.
No,
my
I could have
dex-
gotten higher.
And my dex doesn't suck.
Okay, so
Time for physical training.
you do feel the ground hit hard as the gravity of the ship stops.
Okay.
And you start bouncing around the cabin. Everyone except Nadar seems to be quite agile and stopping from being hit by multiple things. Apparently everyone else hit Nadar instead.
Oh no.
We're all prepared
Look,
properly.
I'm a nerd. I'm not fit or anything. Oh god.
I'll you Tiny too and put you with me.
I'm a warlock's ultimate nerd.
And by the time you stop moving, Nadar's sure that at least every person stepped on him at least once or twice or 3 times.
Yeah, that tracks.
Nadar was
And does that include the people who can't see me?
Yes.
Yeah, because we don't need to see you to step on you,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's
Well,
true.
particularly by
If
accident.
you're not seeing you, then we didn't avoid you.
Yeah.
So not to victim blame, but if we could see you, it'd
Yeah.
be much better.
It's not my fault.
Can I have like jumped and did a flip just as and timed it perfectly?
You could have, yes.
Considering that in this form I am a trapeze artist.
Make it hurt less, certainly.
Martin just said that the staff thought that everyone had hit you at least 3 times. The fact that everyone actually dodged you perfectly and he actually hit himself several times, that's pretty material.
I'm hearing that too.
I feel like with the flips, it might have been like an accidental kick or something.
Yeah, you had support at a level you weren't expecting, but hey, it just worked for you. Though Nadar may have a footprint on the side of his head at this point.
Oh no.
If you could see it.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
I feel like you're my cat when he face planted into the side of the fridge because he didn't go far enough. And he slid down the whole side of the fridge, rolled up to his feet, and just walked off as if it never happened.
Yeah.
Well, he ran to the chair, sat down, and pretended he was asleep the whole time.
Yeah. That's what you do.
I'm just trying
How
to think
am I
if there was
good
some.
at it?
Okay, in the captain's cabin, Captain Harlock says that that was probably his worst landing he's had in years. At least since his early learning to fly.
Cowcrix pats him on the shoulder and says, "Nobody died."
That's true.
But you can
How does
see
Calvert know that at this point?
Because there's no
Wishful thinking.
She's thinking about keeping the captain's spirits up, not about facts.
Okay.
right.
She's 12. Facts don't mean a whole lot to her, despite what she said about Dimitri.
Okay, so everyone else is having their first moment of silence in about 4 days.
Such relief.
Not Nadar. Nadar's ears are ringing.
I was going to say not Cow Creek's either. Eve is chattering at her in 50,000 colours a second.
Yes.
And the deck is slightly on an angle.
Oh, we didn't have a... Right. Or its gravity is messed up somewhere.
In her traditional over-helpful self, Cow Creek's asks if, when she changes sides, they want her help righting the ship.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he says he'll have to repair it first.
Ah.
It's not going anywhere for at least a week, he says.
I can help with that.
Confirming that everyone in the immediate vicinity is okay. Jack Nimmer will be aiming to get out, like, check on the other parts of the ship crew.
Yeah.
But then also having to get outside and confirming what's the situation. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so there is this big groove along the top of the gnomish Sky City. He seems to have dug up a big chunk of their takeoff and landing field.
Oh.
Probably about 400 feet of it.
Okay.
I would have
As long as I didn't take out the cockpit of the Citadel, like, okay.
So, that's where Lonnie will definitely give like a... Well, we appreciate it. Wasn't easy. But we'll definitely get out of here.
Yes.
Away from your ship as quickly as possible so that you can do the necessary repairs. Because... reasons. Yeah.
Well, considering what you're going to do, he's going to start tying the ship down. So if you do take off, it's not going to just slide off.
Perfect.
Yes.
That's the best thing to do.
I'd help rebuilding the thing, but you want us away from here as soon as possible.
Once you get off, you do notice the hull doesn't seem to be damaged. And you notice that most of the paint has scratched off it. And it's actually adamantine underneath it. It was painted to look like wood.
Nice.
Yeah, I'd do that too. Yeah.
You're not even sure you have the capacity to dent this.
Probably not.
No, and I probably wouldn't want to try it. Especially considering its ability to basically reflect magic. Or absorb it.
absorb, but not reflect.
Yeah, true.
And you're sure the adamantine has some of... That's where it's getting some of that capacity.
Yeah.
Maggie has emerged from the cabin in a cloak that's like falling autumn leaves
Mm-hmm.
and is getting ready to get off the ship.
Cool.
Okay, in the distance you can see what appears to be 3 or 4 sail-based airships coming in this direction.
Like external to the Citadel.
Alphathian skyships coming towards, probably to check out what's happened here.
Yes.
Has Eve returned to Nadar's side to protect Nadar as was instructed?
Eve has. Eve does look at Seeker, whichever form Seeker's in, with that look of no touchy-touchy.
Yeah, no, Seeker is looking at Eve in order to know where Nadar is so she can be as far away as possible.
Yeah, fair.
Okay, and you get a ladder down the side of the ship,
Yeah.
and you do see that embedded in the adamantine are various crystals.
Yeah, I'd sort of advise staying away from those. Like, get away from the hull sort of thing.
And the crystals are about 2 meters in length and about half a meter wide.
Yeah, definitely get back and stay away. Would be favourite.
You do know that some have one of these in the ship as propulsion. He seems to have 5.
Okay.
Yeah, well, if they're going to be travelling in space, I can see that's just scary.
Which means that he's probably not using them all for propulsion.
No, some for the shielding and other things. But that's a heck of a lot of that power, and what I know of it, you don't want to be close to it.
And just one of those can power a galleon, a full galleon.
Yeah.
And this is about the size
It's-
of a longship.
Yeah. But it's also a spaceship and other things.
So how many crystals were there?
5.
5 big ass crystals.
Okay. You see Redrian waiting for you near the entryway to the Gnomish Citadel.
Mm-hmm.
In her usual Caprick's way, she bounces down and gives him a hug.
Redrian gives you a book as a gift.
Caprick's gives him another hug.
It could appear that there was anybody on the airfield at the time of the landing that need assistance, or
No, it appears that they had completely cleared the airfield in response to seeing a huge fireball coming in the distance.
Naik is looking at Rodri and seeing if there's a flash of recognition in his eyes.
He just nods in your direction.
Cool. She
Close
wanders
enough.
over and says, Rodri, darling, lovely to see you.
It's good to see you again. Glad that you made it here with the others.
Oh, you never have to worry about me. You should know that by now.
Yes, well, he has employed you to do various jobs over the years.
Yeah, he definitely has. And I'm sure he knows enough about me to know I'm capable.
Yes, but accidents and unforeseen circumstances can happen.
True.
Yeah.
Father sends his regards.
Yes, he got word from him earlier today saying that he expects you'll be here shortly.
Excellent. I will have to contact him. I haven't been able to for a few days.
He said he had dreams of you coming down in a fireball.
Accurate.
He would have enjoyed that.
He gestures everyone to hurry into the Gnomish building, so
Yes. Getting away from being accessed. Yeah.
you can see amongst the gnomes harpies, gremlins, various bird folk,
Okay.
because this was their city.
Until it was appropriated.
Well, they settled it with the gnomes in charge.
Is that the Gnomish city or
It is the
Alsacia?
Gnomish city. Because they are various races that naturally can survive high altitude.
Yeah.
Does the Gnomish city have a name?
It is. It does. I believe it's Sarah Rain.
Sounds sort of familiarish.
Redrine does suggest that Nadar come in as quickly as possible because they are ready for what's about to happen next, he says with a little cryptic response.
Sounds wonderful.
Well, we've just
my echoes were indicated.
we've just done a meteorite strike on their city. I think there's going to be some more response than a couple of ships.
Well, they've abandoned the quarter that the gnomes are in since the gnomes have reported a reactor leak.
Yeah, I'd avoid that too.
So it's going to take them a while to get forces here.
Which means
They have cleared a mile around the ship.
Fair. So we should get doing before they start to want to do things.
And before they realise the reactor leak hasn't happened yet.
Yet.
So we succeeded! Yeah. At fixing it.
Okay, so they take you deep into the Gnomish ship. You get to an area that is not of any design you're familiar with.
Okay.
The material doesn't feel like anything you've seen.
Manika's got this constant chatter of,
smooth.
look what you've done with the place, dear. What is this?
Oh, he says, Redrin says, we're now entering remnants of his starship.
I was about to ask what it actually looked like, but yes.
A dull metallic look.
Right.
That doesn't resemble any form of metal you've ever seen. And it doesn't look old, it doesn't look new.
Right.
And you can't see any wear and tear on it.
So either very long lasting or self-repairing. Probably both.
And following a spiral stairwell down into a central core, which looks to be almost the size of a large field.
Mm-hmm.
You expect you could probably fit Sid's starship, his skyship, easily inside this space.
He probably wants to do that right about now.
Redrin says that normally this area would be filled with energy. In the center, he says. But since the engines were shut down, that has stopped.
Yeah.
As he takes you down to almost the bottom of this big space. And you see a machine that's partly being pulled apart, such that you can see right into the core of it.
Which
Is there anything noticeable, any symbols, anything that Seiko would pick up that she could know away to as useful bits of information?
There is symbology everywhere. And the symbology, as much as you try to pay attention to it, just keeps slipping out of your memory.
Some of those things that no one's capable of knowing.
You do recognize it as Redrian's actual language.
Can I read it?
You look at it, it just gives you a headache.
Oh, it's one of those ones where I'd have to know the contents of it to understand it at all.
And the fact that
Yeah.
it is a language about technology.
Exactly. That's yeah.
Even Raphael would struggle with this.
Yes.
He never learned the full language.
Ah. I must bring it up next time I speak with him.
Okay, so when you get there, he does say that he's going to need the help of Seeker at this point.
Okay.
Or,
Happy to help, darling.
so he's
Still
going.
gets an eyebrow.
He's going to need you to put the gemstone inside the device.
Wait. Seeker to put the gemstone in the device?
It says yes.
Not in a dog?
I'm in.
Nadal's the one
Hang on.
carrying it.
Because
Yeah,
it will
at the moment.
it will activate it at the same time.
Oh.
Right.
As in, Nadar can't put it in there because it won't. It will just be a
It'll just sit there.
stone
It'll just
sitting
be a
in there.
gemstone.
So if Nadar puts it in and then Seeker touches it, does that work? No, Seeker's got to put it in.
Yeah.
All right.
Because basically he needs it to be active going in.
Because
If
that's
it's
Oh,
not
that's-
active going in, it will just fall out of the ship.
Yeah, I think
Oh.
it doesn't matter what aspect I'm in, is it? Does it?
It doesn't matter which aspect you're in, you'll instantly change to your fire aspect.
Okay.
It's going to be a complex one.
Okay.
So
okay,
should we...
I've got the stone.
Okay.
Take the stone from Nadar very
Yeah.
cautiously.
Oh my God, I can
If I change into my fire aspect, what you see before you is a tall, lithe, muscle-bound elf with long, fiery gold hair, bright emerald green eyes, light golden skin, and golden freckles across her face. I will change the picture in a second so you can see her.
Excellent.
Cool. I will need to rest to take on my here again, but you are now seeing Grey.
Oh, yeah.
Could you not?
Hmm.
I believe I can only show a small
Just a small
picture on there.
Put it in. Have you got it in Discord?
I was going to say, you can put it in the
If you
Discord
drop
chat.
it in the Discord chat, I can open it up so people can see it better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. I wish I knew you were happy with that before I tried to sit down.
Hang on.
Although, he rolled me a 12.
Do I have to roll anything while I'm doing this? Do I have to roll anything to...
You will be making a wisdom saving throw.
Okay, cool.
Wait, get that up. Also, you'll be starting to glow as if you're got a sun starting to open up inside you. Just gonna duck to the bathroom.
I don't remember which die is for the character that has the best wisdom.
Oh, that's a cool image.
Oh, wow.
So, would you like to see, hang on,
Oh yeah.
I'll send you who I was a minute ago.
Rather good. Yeah. There's actually a couple of images up. Is
Yeah,
you from?
before.
Oh no, because that's her
That's her fire.
winter one. She went to one of the other ones.
That's her winter, that's
So
fire.
there's another one in the
It
middle.
wasn't winter. Seika's not winter.
No.
Seika is, what is Seika?
Bring it
You wouldn't know
forward.
yet.
Oh, we don't know it yet.
No.
These are the only ones you've seen. So,
Right, so-
Seika,
Seika is
You
not
got
summer. That's all we know.
Maika.
you got
Yeah.
Seika, Maika, who is autumn, and Bray,
Who is
summer.
I
Right.
think Seika's
We don't know yet.
I rolled a nat
what's,
20 on my wisdom save.
Oh, good.
similar
Nice.
to druids, you can take on seasons.
Yeah.
There's a thing. Because I used to have a character that would do the same. Is it season Fae? Something similar?
Season phase and Eladrin.
Yeah, similar.
That's what
I read a sort of
So
thing.
picture.
Yeah, so that was her previous one. And then the first one, that is her current one.
Current one,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so what was your wisdom saving throw?
Nat 20.
Nat 20. Okay, so
I feel like that's the perfect time for a nat 20.
as your hands grasp on it, you don't see what everyone else sees. You see a great wheel of fire before you see it change into the form of the god Ixion.
That's scary.
That's really scary.
Who is looking down upon you in what you can only feel is more disdain than anything else.
Loathing.
It's
probably.
between us and Redrin at the moment.
She
As
just raises an eyebrow at him.
as he seems to be exerting his will to force you to his desire, but apparently it's not working.
Uh-huh.
Ooh.
No, in fact, I think Bray just laughs at him.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
And he seems to be raising his fist as if to smite you down as a foolish vaulter who has interrupted him.
If Calcrix ever finds this out, she's gonna just roll on the floor, laughing.
And you hear the voice of Radrian in your ear saying, "Throw the stone."
I throw the stone.
Okay, give me a dexterity. Basically just a dexterity roll. You're not really proficient in throwing magical rocks of mass destruction.
No, I
That's
am
not our
proficient in throwing
I
daggers.
get a lot of practice at it. We have done it.
I've thrown a magical orb of destruction.
So it's
Yeah.
just dexterity.
Just dexterity.
19.
Okay, so you seem to notice that as soon as it leaves your hand, you feel as if the flame inside you goes out.
Hmm.
Yeah, but I'm stuck in this form until a long rest.
And next, from everyone's perspective, you're no longer the same flaming person you were. You turn back to the form you were previously.
Oh.
So I
Flopsy.
turn back into Maika.
You do.
It forced you into this form and you dropped out after.
Interesting.
As you see a blindingly bright light leave your hand.
Yes.
And you sort of get visions of the future that you saw previously, where if you touched the stone, a sun would form.
Cool. I'm still sort of nervous and watching the light as much as possible to try and make sure nothing bad happens.
As you see Redrian put some sort of force field between you and the stone.
Yeah, that sounds good.
As it has a very deep implosion in the chamber in front of you.
Fun.
As you see fire arc all the way up above you into that space.
Mm-hmm.
Does the party see all of this except for the bit about Ixion?
The party sees all this except for the bit about Ixion. And you start seeing all machinery around you start to light up and make noises. Seems its ability
Spreads
to
amongst the ship.
create a sun was what it needed to ignite the engines.
We did it.
We did.
Without using technology that hasn't been invented yet.
Yeah, that would be a little hard to do.
Because technically Redrian's engines haven't been built yet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because
That was
time shifting.
thrilling, darling.
A bunch of gnomes around you are hurriedly trying to put this part of the engine back together again.
Mm.
With the help of Redrian.
Mm.
Can we help in any way apart from staying out of the way?
Put out any fires you see, he says.
Excellent.
If only we had.
I do have water and frost capacities.
Yes.
I can take a bucket and throw it on water. That's what I got.
Mm-hmm.
Or sand.
Please,
whatever's
miss, and get
required.
somebody else. Preferably Dracula, because that would make Calcrix's day.
And as you watch the...
Putting things out with Dracnomir.
He would look so dignified. It would make an awesome drawing.
I don't know how Dracula feels about that.
Oh, he'd be unimpressed, but...
Yeah, because he'd be on fire.
Yes.
And as you're watching and spending some of your time putting out the various fires that ignite around the chamber, it has been a while since it's actually been fired fully.
Yes. It's not used to it.
As you can feel the city shake as it starts to rise.
Yeah, because this... How much of the city is this under? We're about to find out.
The engine's under the full Nomi city.
Yes.
There's a
So the
single
whole thing-
engine.
You know, then how much of our place should be built up around the fallen Nomi city?
I think
none
they're
of
just
it.
going to punch the Nomi city itself out, because I think the Nomi city was just on the top of this.
It crashed on the suburb.
Yeah.
Weird question. How long ago did the Nova City crash?
A few years.
Okay.
The Alphathians, because it wasn't working, weren't pinching any of its technology.
Yeah.
Non-game question.
Yep.
You could get sleep I've only got a half here. I'm pretty sure I should have a full before your appointment tomorrow. Just the white one. Yeah, that one.
Okay, so you are seeing instruments showing the outside, and that you're probably leveling most of the mile around the Nomi city.
We're going to have to
Alrighty.
apologize.
What about the Alphasian ships that were coming towards us?
They still seem to be coming towards you, but they seem to be struggling because now there's wind blowing in all directions away from the city.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And looks as if the area below you has caught a light.
Ah. Well, spilling things and so on, that'll happen. Unfortunately.
There's a lot of groaning in the city as it's going upwards. The gnomes have said that it should hold. Most of them are making various prayers at the same time. But you know they've been spending months reinforcing it for this occasion.
Yes. So this will be fine. Everything else is toast.
And they did get the Alphathians to evacuate the city region. Now they get to rebuild it. They weren't able to do so while the Nomi city had landed on it.
Yeah.
And as it rises, you see a few Nomi airships joining
Yeah.
and
yeah.
connecting to it as it starts to rise.
Oh. That's amusing.
Well, they had to build them for the Alphathians.
Yes.
Didn't mean they had to leave them for them.
That is true. Yes.
And the city was designed to dock their own technology.
Yes. Safely and reliably and securely.
Well,
Which they're
reliably and securely, not technically safely.
Well, considering the present circumstance, nothing is safe, but yes.
And you do hear the sounds of alarms coming from the Alphathian capital, even inside the valley of the city.
Not surprised.
From what you have learnt, it is basically the full star drive of a spaceship is the thing that holds the city afloat.
Yes. Yeah, we got that from Redren really early on.
But you're surprised
From
at
one
how
of the
large it is.
Well, yeah, yes, because we're going engine, sort of, it's the size of a house maybe.
It's the
Because
size
we're
of
used to grinding mills.
it's the size of most capital cities.
Yes.
It's big.
Not quite the size of the Alphatian capital, but
No, but it's a big chunk of it.
yeah.
This is a good way to mess to really annoy people.
And it was designed
Alright.
to propel something very fast through the void.
Yes. I'm going to help put out fires if they come up, and I'm going to enjoy the experience.
Okay. So I will give you a Constitution saving throw amongst all that. Who else is helping putting out the fires?
I don't know.
Lani also gets to make a Constitution saving throw.
Dragons
It's
are probably
pretty
if you
much
help me.
standing against a wall, looking slightly haunted, but trying to hide it.
Okay.
Nadar is like having a panic attack, just realizing everything that happened in the last couple of days.
Yeah, because Nadara's just like, I'm
Oh.
supposed to hold on to this and now it's scary. And then Sega's
Oh.
probably just like, ah!
So it's all
Yeah.
descended upon you, and you've got nothing to distract yourself except a possible spot fire.
23 for Lonnie.
Uh,
22 for Dracula.
Not as good?
not as good.
Well, he used his 20 up when he needed to.
Exactly.
Yes, I did.
That's usually how it goes.
Nearly 10.
Nearly 10.
Ooh!
Okay, so
Calbricks and Eat race about in high-speed caffeine mode, perfectly
dear.
hitting every single fire that they come across, putting them out in unison. It looks like a dance because they got a natural 20. They managed to miss Drachnima on purpose at every single time, because although they like to make jokes at his expense, they actually respect him.
okay, so almost looks like a jazz wing fiasco as Calcrix is busily putting
Yes.
out fires, and every time Luell goes to a fire, it's just been put out.
Hey,
I was trying not to steal anyone's thunder.
so
And-
I'm going to spend the first 10 minutes of this using one bucket.
Yeah, running around with the one bucket, never emptying it, until you end up putting it down in frustration.
No, I'm just going to... Fuck it, I'm all sweaty now. Pour it over myself.
Oh, in between, she hands cookies to Nadar and Maika.
Just tell them better.
Okay, after...
Bring the cookie.
I don't get natural 20s that often.
You don't?
No.
After about an hour of this activity, the engines start to quieten as you can feel the sideways engines kicking in, taking it out of Alphatia proper.
Right.
It's sort of a shudder, and then you get used to the sway. It sort
That's
of
very-
rides the various air currents of the region.
Yes.
Not that it uses sails, but hey, some of its patrons do.
Yeah.
As it's the only mobile city in the world.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of cheering going on around the city as they finally leave the influence of the Alphatian Empire.
Yay!
Even if
Well, presumably if they had time to ensure that the Alphatians had cleared the way, they also had time to ensure that all the gnomes in the city had time to get back on board.
Well, I'm presuming how they got set up. The only ones that are outside the city were the ones on the ships that are now docked with it.
they had managed to recall all the gnomes to stop the reactor leak from spreading,
Yes.
as only gnomes can do.
Of course.
Well, it was also part of the story they'd given our folks to the KLI. You've got to get rid of the ship.
Oh yeah, that's the whole thing, is it? Yeah, we've got a reactor leak to finish. We're all going, including the kids and the
Well,
pets.
we need their little hands to be able to reach into the mechanisms.
Exactly, and we need the pets to make us feel good about what we're doing. So I will. Once we get, well, there's gnomes in here, aren't there?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to help where I can.
Okay, you
I
do.
do speak Gnomish very well, so I can help there, but I don't know what I could do.
Most of the Gnomish engineers are going around shaking everyone's hands for helping, rather enthusiastically.
Mm-hmm.
It seems that Nadar gets far many of them coming back because, well, you carried the item to them that let them leave.
Yes.
And the dad just does like a shaky little, yeah, I did. Oh my god.
That's all right. The mantle of hero will settle in your mind in next couple of years, maybe. I say, smiling.
Me flipping into socialite, almost automatic socialite behaviours. So she's, asking after everybody and saying, "Hello, wonderful to meet you." Da 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 da.
And you find various tales of family lines of the Gnomish people get dictated to you, filling up the next 3 or 4 days of your waking existence.
Am I still putting out fires?
Happy to do that.
Not
More
as much.
information is always good.
I'm making copious
Yes.
notes on anything I hear about Gnomish families.
Yep. Apparently this is one of their oldest settlements now. The only one older than this one is the one that sits on the spire of the Dwarven Holy Mountain.
And this one's faster.
I got a bunch of orphans sitting back at Mount Dread, so I'm taking as many notes as I can to send back to
Yep.
Grindelwald.
Yeah, no. Maika, as with all of Seika's forms, is very, very good at memorizing and remembering information. So she
Yep.
is making mental notes of everything she learns.
Yes.
Okay, and you're learning about how the Gnomish culture had found the wreckage of this engine many, many thousand years ago. It was one of the first recoveries they did.
And Redrian's looking up skywards going, how did I manage to lose my whole starship engine? The gnomes.
It came to bits.
The Blackmorians blew up his ship.
Yeah.
In doing so, almost destroyed the world.
Yeah, it's the Blackmorians.
Yeah, Redrian, Raphael's people.
I am absolutely not biased in any way.
Because Raphael was one of the people studying the ship.
Yes. I'm not going
Now
to
he
remind
gets to
Redrian
study
who
it
my
more
patron
closely.
is.
Sorry, what was that, Paul?
I'm not going to remind Redrian who my patron is.
No, not right now. I'd be keeping a low profile if I was you.
I'm also not going to talk to Raphael while I'm here,
Wise decision.
because Redrian will probably hook into the communication.
Yeah.
Well, as you're looking at things, you realise that from what you've learned about technology, it seems that you have literally opened up a sun inside the reactor.
I was expecting that to be the effect. That's actually the effect. That's both cool and very scary.
Which means that while the gem is still active like that, no one can get to it.
Yeah, because you'd be pushing a hand into a sun.
Yeah. And isn't that technically, like, you kind of trapped Ixion's power within the reactor, and so he's maybe a little bit pissed about that?
Pretty much. That's not what he wanted.
No.
No, he wants things to go boom, not
whoosh. Was it appropriate or even possible? I wanted to do perception, or she observed the starting up of the ship, but also perception while she's observing running the ship. Because of all of the stuff that she learnt when she did the legend lore about the gem. Is that something that would work or would be possible in those situations?
What to?
To do perception while she did the observation of both, it getting put in and then as it's operating.
Well, it was hard to watch it going in because he was literally getting as bright as the sun.
That's why I was going to try and maybe leave the details for after game, but I was going to see whether or not there was like a, you know how in Shadowrun you get like a ghost view? Just like, is there a view like that she could have used? And if it's not possible, that's all good. But if it is,
you can observe it and pay attention in multiple realities, especially with True Sight.
That was my thought, because True Sight's more of an ointment than it is an actual spell.
And with your True Sight looking at it, you can see the energy just rolling around and up into the chamber above, and then going out the various exhausts.
Because she was very curious about how that works with what she learnt from the legend lore.
And I'm going to spend most of my time not looking at that part of the engine.
Presumably with True Sight you don't see Mad Ixion, do you?
No, but I probably can.
Do you see Mad Ixion?
I have detect magic on at all times.
Right.
Well, mostly at all times. But yeah, it's sort of, if I look at something, if there's something magic in there, I'm going to see it. And if Ixion's in there looking out, I don't want to be there.
Do you make any kind of comment like, whoa, Ixion's mad? Because if Calcrix hears it, she's rolling on the floor laughing.
I don't think Ixion like what we've done.
Calcrix hits the floor and starts laughing. Like, she's out of breath. She's hyperventilating.
Of course. Ixion has been messed up. You're fine with that.
Well, Ixion's tried to kill their group several times because, reasons.
So this is a sort of revenge.
Look, she's just entirely amused that his plans have gone wrong. Finally.
Maika's probably hasn't told the others about her vision because she's feeling a bit nervous about things still.
Yes.
That's fine. I assumed you didn't tell anyone. That's why I was asking if Luel can see.
Yes.
Luel's known Calcrix a long time. It is more likely he would trust her by saying even just a neutral line like Ixion's really mad about what's going on. So
I will make the comment because I know you'll enjoy it.
If she'd remained as brave, she would have bragged about it. But Maika doesn't really do that.
Yeah.
I think it's overall it's a win-win right now. The gnome's up in the sky.
Yes.
Ixion's plan for this gem. Hey, technically it worked. He got what he wanted, just not where he wanted, and no one can get to the gem, which is what we wanted. So.
Yes, and
win,
I don't
win.
like Ixion very much at all because, well, as Calcrix said, tried to burn your people. He wants to burn out the elves.
But he's also tried to specifically kill innocents
that's what I'm saying.
that Calcrix knows. And
Well,
she's like,
Yeah.
these guys have done nothing.
Yeah,
Why?
he wants to kill everyone.
Yeah.
He just wants to blast Alfheim.
She's like, he needs anger management like no one else
He's
knows.
the boss of fire, and anger management is not something that works for people like that.
And he's not used to having someone deny him his desire in any way.
Exactly.
He's one of the 5 kings of the gods.
And we've just told him to bog off. I mean, sit there and just do what you're told.
Well, he had the T-Rex god deny him his base instinct.
Oh yeah, it's the only reason the elves still exist is because Ka said no.
There are 2 people I tell. Every night that we're here, I'm reporting back to Satoshi, and I'm also having a sending conversation with New, and just like chatting about what's happened and how it's making her feel and checking in on the Cirque and all of that jazz.
I presume even with True Sight, Calvix can't hear these conversations.
No.
Good. This is would make her uncomfortable.
Just because Nadar's had been carrying that gem for so long and had been actively avoiding thinking about it, but knowing the power that gem had, does Nadar feel like it's like that power that, been ignoring? Has that disappeared?
Well,
like in a way that's not or it's still there, but in a way that's not worrisome anymore.
Well, you can sort of see it still in the engine, even though they've closed it up. You know exactly where it is. And you can sort of even feel it partly from there.
Curious.
You sure if you ask it would come towards you?
I'd rather not.
Yeah.
So she still feels connected to it, like fully connected. It would go where she would go, that kind of deal.
Well, if she asked it to.
Oh, he. Sorry, apologies.
Well,
Any pronouns. Nadar does not give a shit.
Same for Calcrix.
and same for Druzzle, he doesn't really consider pronouns interesting.
She prefers not to be called an it, because she feels that de-dragonizes her. She is a being.
Yeah.
And if you can't decide what kind of being, he or she works.
Yeah.
Druzzle prefers to use the mighty dragon if Calcrix doesn't have any other pronouns.
Calcrix is good with Druzzle's description and thoroughly encourages other people to follow in his footsteps.
Fair enough.
So Nadar still feels a connection to the shard.
You carried it long enough for it to connect to you, and Seeker didn't get a chance to connect to it while holding it.
Which is probably the point.
Probably a very good thing.
And
She would have been disturbed if she did get
Yeah.
connection.
Yes.
Is there still a danger of Nadar falling asleep? Because that was a big thing before.
You don't believe there's a danger of it unless you actually desire to wield fire.
Perfect. Don't want that. We're good, guys.
So Nadar sleeps for the next 4 days.
Yeah. Like, hey, you
That
need
sounds
me?
fair.
No, good. I'm out.
That
I just
said,
want to go sleep.
while you're sleeping, Eve sleeps. I say sleep in inverted commas. Sleeps with you. She spends most of her time sleeping, drawing pictures all over your body of the heroic works you've done. In stick figures. Because Eve can't draw for shit. But whenever you look at Eve's work, you tell her it is the most beautiful piece of art you've ever seen. And that plant will bloom like no plant you have ever seen.
This is the most beautiful art on my body.
She
Exactly
is a
true.
black and grey dark fade plant, so bloom is all subjective. But, you can tell she's happy. She chirps and she makes nice colours.
Right, so she blights beautifully.
It has lots of can do many colours, but they're all dark.
Yes.
So if you don't know what you're looking at, they may just look like black.
She
And various shades
she
of
can
black.
be a disco of
Yes.
brighter darks when she's happy.
Okay, so
Like opalish.
can do, but it's always dark colours. You do find that you're on the flying ship or flying city for a month before it reaches the Isle of Dawn.
Oh. Are there
Yeah.
gnomish gem
Did you
crafting?
stay on board that time, or did he said he's prepared done a week or so, he's out of there?
He's there for the journey, as he's also using his knowledge to provide the gnomes with a defense they don't normally have.
Only if Redrune's resting asleep or talking something boring does Calcrix leave his side. And when she does, she's looking for some sort of gem, metal, crafty peeps that she can hang with.
There are many gnomish craftsmen here who are happy to talk about
Sure.
gem-based artifact technology.
Who has haste? Anyone have a haste in the group?
I'm pretty
No
sure
haste
not.
spell?
The
No?
only spell I know is sending.
Okay. Damn. I think I might have haste for myself. Maybe. I can speed myself up. No, that's right. I drink a quadruple coffee. In the absence of a haste spell, Calvix drinks a quadruple coffee every 20 minutes so that she can be with each of these crafting group people and spend enough time with them to figure out what their crafts are.
So
that's-
Calvary
Another
refers
basic
it to
things.
her as a haste potion.
I can only imagine
Yes.
like Gnomish City, people around, and then this just multicolored white dragon bouncing along from place to place to place to place.
No,
Yes.
not multicolored white dragon. This streak that somewhat resembles a dragon type shape.
The rainbow streak going here to
Yeah.
here to here.
It's kind of like the Flash got known as the Flash. She is now known
And all
as the streak.
All I can imagine in the background is the thump, 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 thump as Calcrix rushes past, and even maybe like a whoosh of the jazz wings as she goes.
And she's
So
like,
this would be considered basically downtime, wouldn't it?
This is a bit of downtime for you guys.
Yep. So I'm making tea for people.
she
that
lands
need
at a
it.
group, offers some coffee, tea, biscuits,
Yes.
starts making whatever the order is, no matter how ridiculous it is. And some gnomes know that it's Calcrix, so they're like, I want a triple macchiato with extra cream, but no froth. And chocolate sprinkles, but the ones from the cacao region, not the ones from, Isle of Dread. And she's like pulling things out of bags of holding all over the
Trying to
place.
go as crazy as possible.
And at the same time, she's like, what craft do you do? How do you do it? What's it made of? What are the base materials? What do I need for a starter set? Do you have a starter set? How much is that going to cost? I'll trade you for some coffee beans. Does that reduce it by any? It makes it more expensive. What are we talking about here?
Well, you do get helped by the fact that one of your coffee emporiums is actually part of the city.
Oh, yeah.
So you have a group of workers all happy to throw in and make whatever plans you have happen.
That would be good. She's been dying to visit this city and interview all of these gnomes and get all of this information
Since forever.
And
since she started collecting gnomes on Mount Dread.
you get at least a day with each group, knowing that there's hundreds of groups here. As they're teaching you the basics of what they do. Some of them work with lasers, some of them work with reflection, some of them work with energy absorption, some of them work with propulsion, and that they all incorporate parts of their stuff into the flying city, as well as various stuff. A
So-
lot of the city uses laser technology,
She's had to buy at least 2 more bags of holding, which are now full of supplies.
which is why the Alphatians couldn't figure out how to get it working.
And then
It's
there's
way beyond anything they've even imagined.
one night, Drachnama and Lani are all having a quiet dinner. Calcrix lands in the middle of them, looks at Drachnama, looks at Lani and goes, when you're my chieftain and on that big chair, and when you say the last word, you are going to have the fireworks that you guys have never seen before. And then she disappears.
And I'm pretty sure that's when just Dracula and I just kind of like look at each other and just like, yep,
She's 12, right?
Winking.
It's a phase.
yep.
Not that I need the information or anything now, Martin, but at this point, if it's downtime, basically I'd be doing the gather information downtime activity. Being in
And
a city I probably haven't visited before, gathering as much as possible.
Yeah.
this is a city your circuses always wanted to come to because they have information no one else has access to.
I'll be talking to people too about similar things.
The big thing they have is they have star charts of air currents no other nation has even encountered.
Nadar will be spending time in the library.
Oh yeah.
There's a library?
There is.
Shit. Alright. I'm doubling the haste potion.
It is the it is technically the oldest surviving library.
Nope.
I want to absorb
Wait a
all of
minute.
it.
Because nearly every other library has had some sort of catastrophe.
And this hasn't.
And
Because no one can get to it.
yeah.
I'm rethinking this plan. I go down to visit head librarian. Present myself with all the jazz wings and charisma up the kazoo that I've got. Can you please appoint me a little intern that can run around and get me all of these resources? Or scroll out that's like 20 meters long.
Oh.
I will pay you in whatever currency you wish to be paid.
Oh dear.
He says he knows who you are. Just the fact that you patron his establishment is enough for him. He loves your coffees.
My donations here keep this place running.
Yes.
And he instructs you in the basics of using his construct that allows you to read from their library.
Like a construct?
It is a box with little levers and
It's a
buttons and stuff, and it displays up on a magical page various information.
There you go.
She squishes down to gnome-sized Calcrix, looks him dead in the eye and goes, I promise I will try my very best not to break your contract.
He appreciates that it's taking them years to get them working.
Really hard. Really, really hard.
Because I'm in information
Yes.
gathering mode and we're there for a month, I probably would be shifting through my different forms for different days and
Yeah.
where I wanted to go to gather information. So the last two of my forms have just gone up on the chat.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be Reiku and Shizu.
Yeah.
There's that one.
Ah,
Mm.
cool.
At the end of each
Jizu-
night,
It's the
Jizuyo
last
one.
and Reiku.
Those are cool.
they are...
And so basically the gnomes have a electronic library that constructs can access.
It's super cool. As you go to bed each night, you find this sketch that comes from nowhere but looks suspiciously like Calcrix's hand of this beautiful, almost fairy ghost-like image of whatever you were that day drifting through the books.
Also, Nadal would like to, at one point, pull Seeker aside in whatever form that she's in and say, hey, sorry I was so, standoffish before, didn't want the world to explode. It's not a you thing, it's more a me thing. No hard feelings, right?
Not at all. Actually, hang on. Would that be early in it?
Yeah, pretty early.
Yeah, she's probably shifted into... She's probably wanting to hit the library most, so she's probably shifted into Shizuyo. Sorry, I've just got to check my personality.
I
Each one has a different
that too.
personality.
There's this stage as I'm coming out of the bedroom towards the support worker and I'm flipping through and going, do I have the right personality on right now? Is the right social masking happening?
It's very much like that. She's like, it's fine, dear. I just have to... no hard feelings. Just got to go to this book, please. I need to read this.
Of course, of course, of course.
I do know someone who, because she had issues with interpersonal stuff, particularly something would come across as confrontational, she would role play different personalities for different things.
Yeah.
Would you like to know what
So-
the current subject for the last 3 weeks I've been working on as homework for my psych is? Applying role-playing personalities to real-life people
Yes.
so that you can practice the emotions that you want to
Yes.
exhibit
Well,
rather
it's-
than
Yeah.
the
It's
emotions you are feeling right now.
yeah. It's a more formalised version of social masks.
Mm.
What she would do is she'd go, I need to go for this job interview, so I'm going to role play a job interviewing person
I
who
just
happens to be like me.
Yeah. I describe it as gold
And
standard social mask.
Basically, yeah, it's formalised and deliberate.
Yeah, I'm
social
getting better
mask.
at it too, Mum
Well,
says.
it's
Yeah.
how I got good
Yeah.
at interviewing. I had
Yeah.
a persona that would just control the room.
Yeah.
And it wasn't my normal persona, but hey, it
That's
got
how
me
you
jobs.
go.
Yeah.
Well, in the
Oh,
last
I've
week,
totally got different personas.
Yeah, role
Oh,
playing,
yeah.
role playing practice, a useful thing.
Teacher mask goes on
well,
as
this
soon
is
as
the
I
original reason why I
All
started
grounds.
role playing.
Yeah,
Yep.
And I would expect the teacher mask is completely different to your normal personality because you have to be so controlled about what you do around kids.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Whereas I don't really have much of a mask. I just don't swear so much sometimes.
Okay, so yes, each of you does get time, and you do notice that during each of the days, Druzzle seems to show up and check on each of you,
Mm-hmm.
Cuddle, cookie.
making sure that you've eaten, you've slept, you've actually had conversation with people.
Except roles reversed with Druzzle and Caprix. When did
Well-
you last eat? What
Yeah,
did you eat?
But this is the
You
thing.
had a cookie?
Right
That's
at the moment,
not real food.
this is his job, is looking after us.
Yes.
So he's...
I'm his sister. I
Doing
look
the
after
thing.
him.
That's how it
Is
is.
there
Yes.
much of an underground, like a criminal underground sort of thing, or is that not something you'd see in?
There is a very big criminal underground. It's mostly run by gremlins.
Oh, God.
Oh,
Excellent.
so much fun.
Okay,
And,
so the stinker form does appear.
And you
Right.
slightly have a slight problem of you can't keep up with them.
No,
Oh.
no, you wouldn't.
Not only are their schemes so damn complex
Oh, yeah.
that they have no sense in reality,
Yeah.
yet they still somehow succeed.
They're entirely entertaining too.
They are chaos personified. They,
Sigh.
and if they weren't doing their criminal underground, the city wouldn't stay afloat. The gnomes wouldn't have materials when they need it. And
Yes.
the gnomes would run out of things to do.
Yes, they're the supply guys.
How do you think I get hold of half of my gemstones? And
I'd still be trying to learn as much as I can,
Oh, yeah.
hit the goss, pick up any skills I can, but yeah, mostly it's just
Get all the stuff.
information gathering, running through my different forms, hitting up the military, the scholars, the library, the townsfolk,
We're
the
all
upper
going to be...
class, and Redrian, and the underworld.
And you do note
So
that
everyone-
the Rakasta have their own tower on the city,
Oh.
Ooh.
Which
I suddenly
is-
found my new favourite nightclub.
which is basically off limits to nearly everyone else.
Caprix
every-
turns up at the door.
Every house needs a cat tower.
Not only does Caprix turn up at the door, she turns up at the door in her disco gear.
Oh, gold.
And it turns out their tower is the main control hub of the city. The gnomes think they're running it,
But it's run by the cats.
so the gnomes mainly maintain it.
Yeah. And they... Yeah. We won't tell them.
And that
know
seems
what
to be
that-
why nearly everything is actually working smoothly.
Of course, that's why everything's
And Seeker learns very quickly that the gremlins all report in to the cats. Because the cats tell them what they need and they don't care how the gremlins achieve it.
Yes.
Sounds something like the relationship between Jawas and Engine.
And the gremlins
Yes.
have access to teleportation circles that can actually take them to the surface below so they can loot all the materials they need.
I've observed them doing these whenever I can.
So every now and again people wake up on the surface to find half their stuff missing for no particular reason with no trace of how it's disappeared. And Seeker's actually now remembering all these folk tales of lights in the
I was
sky
going to say, there's
and
myths.
People
there's
going
folktales
missing.
here.
things going missing. There have been
Yeah.
folk tales of this for more than 4,000
It'll be
years.
the whole.
Hmm.
You got coal in your Santa sock for a reason. It'll be, what did you do when you were
Right.
dealing with,
So...
you know, the little old lady down the creek the other day? Did you say the
Yeah.
wrong thing to her? That's why your tyres are missing.
Right, so these guys steal everything except elven heroes, right?
Yeah. Though if they were tasked with that, they would do that too.
No, probably.
Well, you know, those elven heroes are guarded by dark fae.
Kesley, you gonna have those?
You do see in the library itself, it has a map of the air currents of the region as a holographic map over the center of the library, showing various points of the northern hemisphere that the city normally travels.
I'm going to study the hell out of that.
Galvin's also interested in genealogy.
Because it shows that the Nomi City normally would go over the entire continent of Brune, as well as Scothar and Alphatia in between, as they would traverse it the entire time of the year. Not always seasonal, and sometimes it might be 4 years between visits.
But still.
But they literally cover the entire northern hemisphere. For some reason, they won't go south.
Do I have an inkling as to why they won't go south?
Apparently, that's where the gnomes stole the engine from. And his homeland of the bird folk, the gremlins, the elves, the halflings, and where the Blackmoor homeland can be found.
Yeah, I can see them avoiding that.
Of course, every night I am reporting back to Satoshi.
He is enjoying your observations of the continent of Alphatia and the Isle of Dawn as you're going over.
Where on the map is that?
The Isle of
I'm
Dawn
sure.
is... where is my mouse? Here it is. It's this island here.
Oh, okay, over there.
So Alphatia's here. You're sort of coming down this way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because Galantry is that little point there, and your island is one of the ones just there. So you're not far from everything.
Okay.
And once you get over the Isle of Dawn, you can just see just how many forces the Alphatians have amassed on this side of their border.
Stonkloads.
They have more ships than the entire region you come from. And this is just their sea navy. Their sea navy is stupidly immense, but they must have pretty much stopped all other sea trade to have them here.
Yeah, which means they can't do it for very long. So they have to be doing it for a very specific purpose.
Or they have to convince their spellcasters to take over transportation of goods until they can get them back again.
Yeah.
But no one
So
wants...
this doesn't look like a normal post-up. This is an increase in traffic.
This is an invasion fleet. There's no way it's not that. They have moved what appears to be a majority of their armed forces to the Isle of Dawn. And from what reports you have from Thyatis, there's probably 10 to 1 Alphatian to Thyatin.
So say a
But,
little bit of that again.
In that strategic count and the tactical count, so...
Yeah, I was saying it would be about 10 to 1 Alphatian versus Thyatin with the amount of forces they have here.
Also, Martin, just for awareness, all the cameras appear to be frozen.
They seem to be working on my end.
Oh,
I can see them.
Yeah.
okay, well,
Maybe it's just you.
obviously, it might be my connection.
I believe Kishley's holding herself so still that...
That's just how it is. I'm just so good. I'm so still you can't even see me.
So
does it look like the Alphatians?
Just like Drax the Destroyer.
Does it look like the Alphatians are looking to invade the Isle of Dawn, or are they setting up to?
They control half of the Isle of
Thyatin.
Dawn. They control the outside of it on the eastern edge. The Thyatins control the outside of it on the western edge. No one
So it looks
teleports.
like an invasion fleet for the Thyatins.
Yeah. No one teleports to the Isle of Dawn because you end up in the center of the island and no one wants to go there.
Alright, cool. Well, yeah, I am. When I see that, I am quickly reporting to Satoshi.
So Alphatians control Isle of
There's
Dawn.
They
Alphatian and
control
Thyatir at
the
war.
They control the
and Talamikos needed to feed.
They control the eastern side of the Isle of Dawn.
Yep,
The
and
Thyatins control the western side of the
Thyatin.
Isle of Dawn. No one controls the center.
And that was the west.
So the center is full of animal life similar to the Isle of Dawn. Isle of Dread.
So we're going to the Isle of Dread.
The Isle of Dread has large dinosaurs in it. The center of the Isle of Dawn also has large dinosaurs in it.
Okay. And it's the eastern side controlled by the Alphatians.
It is.
Yeah.
And as you're moving across the northern part of it, you can see that the Norsemen and the Thiatans seem to have some sort of truce and are both fighting the Alphatian armada on the northern side of the island.
Okay.
Maybe Thiatans have offered a bounty on every sunk Alphatian ship.
That sounds
Yeah,
like something I'd do.
the Northmen would go after that.
And possibly also made an agreement not to sail into their waters without permission.
To have a
Yes.
truce against the Alphatians.
And from Seeker's perspective, it looks like the entirety of the Thiatan fleet is on the northern side of the Isle of Dawn.
For those of
Okay,
us
does
who
that,
are in lots
could
of
I
pain.
see like any Alphatians going around the other side? Like, is it,
It's
like, I've
too
got a sky view.
it's too
Is it-
big an island.
Okay, so it doesn't look like the, like I haven't seen any signs of the Alphatians trying to pincer maneuver the Thiatans or anything like that.
They probably would if they thought of it, but to be honest, the Alphatians are not naval fighters.
No.
Okay, cool.
They're so used to using magic to annihilate everything,
Yeah.
and magic has its issues while on the Isle of Dawn.
Okay.
So,
It's good
do
for
we
us.
have opportunity to interact with
Thank
these
you.
factions while we're around?
Well, you're currently floating many hundreds of feet above them
Right.
as you're on the Nomis airship, Air City, leaving Alphatian.
With the right spell, you could listen in on conversations and,
You
stuff,
could.
and provide intelligence where you felt it might be useful.
You can get a lot just by the positioning of the Alphatian forces.
And
And that's
working,
what I'm watching, that's what I'm trying to communicate. The Satoshi, knowing where Satoshi reports to.
yeah.
Yes.
So, knowing that this intelligence is there, is Redrian encouraging those of us who are capable of gathering what intelligence we can?
He's happy for you to do so. He just doesn't recommend getting involved because if you get too close, you might not make it back out.
She's got no intention of actually starting a conversation with anyone.
He says he does add that since they started hostilities, they don't have neutral parties.
No.
Well, that's moderately normal.
But you could sit invisible or out of sight or underwater with water breathing on you where you listened in on everything they said and take copious notes of word for word what was going on if needed.
He
That
does
kind of
say
adventure.
your crystal ball would probably give you the best access to what they're doing.
It would, but it is not the most fun way. However, I gather your point now is going to be it will be the most effective way. So yes, I'll use my orb. Spoil all the fun. She's waiting there by the
Hello,
moment
Therian.
for that extra moment expectedly, because right now an ice cream should turn up in apology. Because that's what he
Right.
usually does.
He does give her an ice cream.
She takes the ice cream, she's like, I will do things sensibly.
Okay, so you've
For
been
you.
seeing in that month's time that the gnomes have been rebuilding their protective fleet.
Yep.
So they have biplanes and triplanes.
Yep.
Cool.
That run off fuel gathered from their engine.
Scary.
Interesting. Okay.
and it gives them a fair distance to travel. And their weaponry actually uses the same fuel source to fire at targets.
That's terrifying.
Yes.
So you sort of figure it out that it's literally red hot plasma hitting people.
Jesus.
It's pretty scary.
Now stuff.
Which, considering what they have, could pretty much decimate any of the fleets here, which is why they didn't build any while they were in Alphatia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give away too much.
Yep.
Well, they didn't have anything to fuel it with.
Oh, there was that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm assuming we don't see any weaknesses in the Alphatian forces or anything like that I could, throw to my powers that be.
Fire is always a weakness.
Especially from above.
And you do see the occasional Haldanic warbird strafe the Alphatian armada and leaving a wake of probably 10 or so ships burning to the waterline behind it.
Cool. Yeah, I've returned to my most comfortable form, which is Seika. And yeah, I'm just eyes peeled, watching everything, constantly sending and giving information.
You do know that there is a pact between the Thiatan and the Haldanic to keep the Alphatians out of your region.
So this is a part of their border keeping pushback sort of incentive.
Without the Haldanic warbirds, the Alphatians would just fly in and drop stuff.
Without them.
Yeah, without the Haldanic warbirds stopping them,
Yeah.
the Alphatians would dominate the sky.
What precisely are the Haldanic warbirds? Are they a species of breed?
They are a badly put together ship that can't fly on its own, that the goddess provides enough force to push it, that it basically is a very unaerodynamic vehicle flying through space.
I was gonna say
It's a cruise missile.
a glorified glider.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like something screaming as it flies through the air, based on the design they use.
It's a glider that needs help. It's also a fire ship.
Yeah.
Probably sounds similar to a TIE fighter.
Yeah,
It is that sort of scream as it goes overhead.
Sorry.
And that's simply the force of the air against the front of the vessel.
Because it's going rather quick.
Well, its only propulsion is by God.
Yes.
That's funny.
Lodging its way through the air. Yeah.
So the air literally screams around it as it flies overhead.
So is it manned or is it like a cruise missile?
It is
Cruise.
manned. It has a bunch of clerics on board praying to their god for navigation, propulsion, and weaponry.
And teleporting off afterwards.
I know they stay on it
because they're loonies.
I know because there's only so many of the gemstones, and each one is sacred to their goddess. And basically these things basically do a disintegration ray out the front of it.
Right.
So it is literally a bird flying.
One of them has a picky.
Where did I put the pictures? I know I have them somewhere, but hey, it's one of those months where I have moved everything.
Yes.
So I would have pictures to show you,
Just not quite yet.
but I safely
Yes.
put them somewhere where I wouldn't lose them.
Yes.
I know that feeling.
It's an entirely
You're going to
psyche.
have to draw them in crayon. I expect a lot of colour.
So
Yes.
think of it like a giant eagle, but made out of planks. That's the easiest way to
Yes.
describe it.
Yes. It's a side thing entirely because I'm going through on things I want to update. I'm thinking if I want to be macabre, I could put the spell book that I got from my sister on top of my warlock rod. because it'll hold it up there. Because that's the Skull spellbook that's her ex-boyfriend.
Love it.
Yes.
Love the vibe.
Yeah, she gave it to me as a present.
Well, she's not one who takes breakups lightly.
No, she did not take that breakup lightly. But then she went, I don't have a need for this as a spellbook anymore. I'm going to give it to my brother. Because he's a spellcaster. And obviously he's a warlock, therefore he's into being spooky.
I'm sure it was just like she wanted to give you a reminder of paying attention to her next time she talks to you.
Well, that's probably as well, because, hey, sister.
And she
That'll
has...
do what I do.
Yes.
And she does specifically want attention when she asks for it.
Oh, yeah. I have some very scary sisters.
Most sisters are scary in my experience.
Yeah, I've got 3 of them. Claw has 2. And
My
both of
sister
them...
and I work perfectly 300 kilometres apart.
Oh, that sounds perfectly reasonable. Yeah, my brother lives in Adelaide. It's great for both of us.
Well, all my
we-
family's interstate.
Mum and Dad are halfway between, and Raywin's in Sydney, and I'm in Canberra. And we see each other 3 to 4 times a year.
Yeah,
We're good.
yeah,
Okay, whatever works is what works.
yep.
Okay, so I'm sure I have everything in various places. I'll look them up later, but I will show you
Yes.
pictures next session, hopefully.
Yes.
Some of you have seen them already.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, what would you like to do with tonight? Are you going to exit with the pilot of the skyship you came down on? Because he's about to head off, heading south to Thofia. Or are you going to continue on with the Flying Gnome City?
I would love to spend the next couple of years in the library here. But we have things to do. And I can come back.
I think
We're currently going to be heading back south again.
Seeker has and Calcrix have seen that there is a teleportation circle the gremlins
Yeah.
use.
so.
Yeah.
We can get wherever we need.
You
Yes.
can get back here using the teleportation circle spell.
Yep.
Okay.
Has Ariadna fallen asleep?
Yeah.
I am here.
A bit.
I'm also
um,
just screaming out, Penny screaming out spasm stuff.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah.
So we're in the middle of the 5th, near the end of the 5th month.
You would be.
Oh no, we're in the
actually-
6th month now.
You would be in the 6th month.
Yep.
We're in the middle of the 6th month.
Yeah.
So we're on like the 24th of the 5th, not long ago.
Yeah.
So-
yeah, now it's
Yeah.
been a month in this session.
Technically, Seeker probably would have found Llewell at some point.
Yes.
And mentioned the fact that technically her contract is up. What are they up to next?
We have some more saving of the world to do. If that interests you. Including...
Any specifics?
One end of the world problem at a time.
Calcrix, if she
Well-
overhears any of this, goes, don't let him sign you up to too many. I'm already doing 2 parties at the one time. It's exhausting.
Well, we're in the middle of saving the world from 2 different apocalypses, which are sort of linked to each other.
Yeah.
We're trying to put together the various parts of a highly legendary item or set of items, which I can tell you all sorts of stories about. I can show you the map, and that's the first part of it. And it's a... If you've ever got like... think of a cross between Google Earth and Google Maps as a map that you can put on a table in front of you and then scroll over, and it's got annotations.
Oh.
And if you look at it along the length of it, do it the right way, you can actually see basically to the horizon, and possibly further. That's one of the minor bits. So we've got more fun doing that. Some of which involved waking up a whole load of titans. Don't tell anybody we did that one.
But Friday did.
We've all been paying any attention to sacred activities. Don't tell them about. Don't tell anyone who did that.
My people keep a secret.
Yeah.
Yeah, quite a few
Yes.
secrets to keep, but that's not a problem.
Yes. I am finding it personally relatively novel. Talking to someone who's taller than me, which is quite pleasant.
Yeah.
So used to
I'm
people
also,
being half an arm
according-
length shorter. Sorry.
according to my so I'm only about 112. So 112 or yeah.
112 is what
I
you put
look
yourself
like
down
I
as.
shouldn't be adventuring.
You're a kid. Yeah.
So she
Yeah.
roughly looks like she's about 21 or 22.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I am a level 12 rogue, so
Yeah. So
I just
you've
started very early.
been. Yes.
So
Because
what's the second thing where you
So-
guys are chasing?
doing various things to try and stop the master doing what he's trying to do, including fighting armies, leading armies, making friends with queens of the sea and various
Gathering armies is the important part right now.
yeah, and making friends with kings and other unimportant people like that.
So this probably would have been a few days before we were possibly looking at leaving,
Yeah.
and I probably would have sort of finished the conversation there, and then, or near there, or just drifted off into another conversation. And that night, I would have sent to Satoshi saying,
Yeah.
"Hey, I can stay. I can come home. This is what we're looking at. What do you want me to do?" And I'm assuming Satoshi would have told me to stay with these guys, as they seem to be in the middle of a whole heap of stuff that it would be good to know about.
And he's also suggesting if you can convince the Yalarum to occupy themselves with something that would be appreciated.
We'll work on it.
Mainly because for your character's perspective, with the Thiatin borders getting cleaned out, this would be the perfect time for the Yalarum to go south and commit retribution upon the Thiatins for all their injustice over the years.
For basically
Awesome.
being
I will-
fascist in public. Yeah.
Yeah, so like the next day, I would have said, "Hey, if you guys want me, think I can help you out with some of that stuff. Very good at gathering information. Lots of practice with diplomacy. If you guys want me, I am here."
Very glad for you to come along. I'm sure the others will be as well, but
Half-Creek's always want
Well-
someone who's willing to help.
yes.
Grandparents the one who's really got to make the decision.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
true. It's kind of his crew.
And
Yes.
one thing Seeker does learn from her contacts, Lowell's family history is a lie.
Yes.
But that's something I'm
Yeah.
sure Lowell will tell you with time.
It is in paperwork only and not and appears to be doctored.
Yes.
So what's the feeling we're getting from this?
He is a member of a noble family. At least one.
Redrin.
No.
Seeker's contact.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
But who's where and who's what is... Yeah, it's all pretty dodgy. But
Yeah.
accepted as legit by the people in power.
Well,
I was gonna say, if I noticed that, I would probably find it was Lowell's documentation, I realised, was dodgy.
Yes, his
I told
family.
you it was dodgy.
His family line technically doesn't exist.
I would have grabbed Luell at some point and when we were somewhere quiet and alone, and I would have said,
Yes.
"Oh, would you like some help with your documentation?"
Given the present circumstance with the rulership of Alfheim, finding the documents involved to do anything with them is going to be a bit interesting.
Who says anything about finding the documents?
Or at least finding the ones that look right, so you can make your own. I can see what you're trying to do, and it may or may not be necessary. It's probably a useful idea. We're in the midst of, given what's happening with Alfheim, probably recreating ourselves as a new noble family anyway. But
If you need help with that, let me know.
exactly, I've got no problem
I have
with
an
that. Thank
expertise.
I will give Seeker an insight roll with that conversation.
you. Yes.
If someone wants to drive that, I can let you go. I guess back away. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay, we won't be going much longer. Yeah, we won't be going much longer, Jeremy. So I'll see you on Thursday.
Yep.
Thursday or Wednesday?
Thursday this week.
Yes.
Okay.
So, what?
All good?
Yeah.
Thanks, later.
What?
Bye for now.
Hi, Jeremy.
See you, Jeremy.
Yeah.
What ability score is insight? Would that be my intelligence?
You could use it
It's-
off intelligence. You could use it off wisdom.
Yeah. It's nominally off wisdom, but pick one.
With Saker, it's more likely to be intelligence.
Yeah.
27.
Okay. Lowell has unknown accents that are not based around Darrakan or Alfheim.
She would also
I knew that already.
give her
You
an
do,
intelligence check to recognise my facial mark.
That is also not part of her background.
Right, so she wouldn't pick that at all. No. It is unusual for Alfheim elves, however.
You mean it was
It is,
at
but
least
it's not part of
Yeah.
her character.
She won't pick it where it is,
over there.
but she'll recognise that's not a normal thing.
Retains
You obviously have some knowledge of
square things. Yep. Should be around.
knowledge of my family,
Blue and orange.
and
Yep.
I'm not sure how far you've got,
Yeah, that's perfect.
but there are certain aspects of my background that really shouldn't come out in public, at least
All the
not yet.
drugs that the doctors tell me I should.
No, I can.
Because-
I've said a couple of times I can keep a
The
secret.
doctors
I'm
who
just
listen
saying,
to
if
Yeah.
you want some help with those,
It would definitely be of use to legitimize to aid legitimizing things later.
you have seen 5 different forms of me.
Yes.
Each one is legitimate, according to society. If you
That's
want
fair.
help, happy to help.
Oh, lost one.
Thank you for that. Would be very useful.
Another one.
Um, seeing we're going to have to try and basically start a new society in what has up to now been Alfheim, because that's going to change a lot soon and is already starting to change.
Would Saker have heard about where the Alfheim elves are going? Sorry, a bit of intelligence
All good.
leaking in here.
She knows that Alfheim has made a pact with Alphatia.
Heard
So
about this pack? Yes.
the belief of the upper people you report to is Alphatia might have to have been dealt with if they weren't just going to run away.
Mm.
But on the bright side, they're running away.
Lovely.
I'm gonna have to rewatch this to get all the
Fiddly bits.
fiddly bits. Yeah.
Mm.
And Nadar gets a conversation with Drazzle, pointing out that most of the dragons are to the north of where you are currently. the entirety of their population has settled in the eastern mountains up in the ice fields.
Okay.
Interesting.
And basically, that's where their city is.
So, is all of this information culminating in a new goal, or just
It will
in
be
new
most likely a
information?
new goal next session. But
Okay.
as we're at 10:30 and we
Yeah.
have to get up early
Get
tomorrow.
that. But
Yes.
is there any indication of the kind of goal that it's heading towards?
You have potential to go deal with the dragons, deal with Yalarum, deal with the giants. They're all
So-
on.
Even
the
though we
cards right
started
now.
out here, we're going to go help the fire giants. We're now reconsidering that and changing course possibly again.
You could. You get to choose before making the leap.
Okay, so I will have to have outside again talks with
Mm.
about Calcrix's personal, I guess, preferences.
Well, there are a couple you would probably get along better with, such as the cloud giants.
Yes, but she also made an oath that she may feel she's got no choice to keep.
Yep, that is fair. Does anyone have anything they'd like to add before we finish up for the night?
I did want to add. So aside from the whole true sight or the gemstones being pulled out, put in, etc. It might be a downtime thing that I wanted to talk to you about a certain legend lore, because she creates a lot of them and she has to keep track of things, and the creation and the destruction of not just one of her books but one of the masters.
Ooh.
We talked about it at the end of the last session. You said that's something you might do in downtime, or it could be an option for an active goal. So I wanted to try and just mark it at the end of this video that when I watch it back, I ask you 50 billion questions saying, so, this thing that came up. And
Tell me
talk
about
to you
the thing.
that.
All good.
Yes.
Because I believe it's going to mean the wiping of a certain character's memory, and that may have consequences as well.
Well, that's almost always going to have consequences.
Okay, so I will put it on in credits.
Yep.